Prepare yourself.
Oh, this is the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Hello again and welcome to the Cathedral of Wisdom for this week's episode of the Ninja Troll Digicast. I am Tim Dixon, your, I guess, primary host, and you'd be the secondary host?
I'll be Zan, and you be Jaina.
Okay.
And we'll say, Ninja Troll powers activate. Shape of a real radio show.
I don't think we can manage that one.
All right. Shape of a Digicast.
There you go. Yes, this is a word we made up. We can do that one.
That's right. Yeah. It's a weird shape.
Sorry, we're a couple days late this week, but it just means we got more stuff packed into this show.
That's right.
We've got we're going back to the Crisis on Infinite Earths. We're still continuing our Exploring the Multiverse segment.
Yep.
On that, so we're doing this week. We're doing issues 4, 5, and 6.
That's right.
Of Crisis on Infinite Earths.
So part 2 of 4.
So part 2, basically, yeah. And then we also continuing our Crisis themed showcase episodes.
And what we got?
This week is Marv Wolfman.
Yes.
I learned a lot of stuff that I never knew about Marv Wolfman. He created a lot of characters that I never knew.
Wow.
One that you are a big fan of, too, so this will be interesting, too.
All right.
Have that little reveal.
That's fine.
We got a huge amount of movie and TV news. We got a lot of new stuff coming out in the comic rack. We're going to talk about some issues that are coming out. Came out 2 days ago.
Yep.
We had it prepared for Wednesday. They would be coming out that day, but we had to push back. So, yeah, exactly. New Comic Wednesday. But one sad thing that happened this week, unfortunately, George Barris, the designer of the original 1966 Batmobile.
The best Batmobile.
Yeah, passed away. And actually, I saw this was a couple of weeks ago before he did pass away, but it was up for sale.
Oh.
For like $5 million.
Ooh.
I mean, it's pretty stout price tag, but you think about how much money you could make with that thing, just going from place to place and doing appearances.
Totally.
You know, it's got to be like a couple.
If you have the original,
yeah,
you got to have the one.
It's going to be like a couple grand a pop at least, just to show up somewhere
and to sit in it. I mean, that's like
yeah,
and to hit the like back computer button.
Yeah.
That ejects you.
Yeah, the ejector seat. Yeah, so that you could. It's a moneymaker, but I don't know, $5 million. It's just. But my wife texted me. She saw it somewhere that it was for sale, and she texted me and told me it was for sale. I was like, all right, get the checkbook. We're good to go.
Yeah, I'd be like, I thought you wanted money.
Yeah.
But George Barris was the creator. How old was he when he passed
He was,
away?
I think he was in his 60s when he passed away.
Or,
yeah,
okay.
maybe. Right. He was a custom car designer.
Cool.
And they just said, hey, we need this for the show. And he came up with it. So,
nice.
And it looks incredible.
Yeah, it was in line with all those California custom cars with like the domes and the plexi bodies and stuff. I forget the guy who's like real world famous for that, but he did like the Ratfink. That was like his sort of art that he used to do, and he was a custom car. And I always loved that about it, was that it had that like super globy kind of real mod feel. And like,
the fins. Oh, I love those fins. Yeah, that was crazy.
Because all the Batmobiles before that were silly, right? Or just cars.
Yeah, well, they would stick like in the comic, the I think it was 50s.
And what was it?
That was the Batmobile had an actual face on the front of it. It was like a bat
like
face.
A battering ram.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But it had a bat face on it. So it was it to actually see, and when you see it on TV, that makes it a whole different thing. It can't one thing is to see it in the comic books.
And imagine it's fast and imagine from all angles, right? But to see it real life, spin on the table for them to jump in.
That was a big deal.
Yeah.
I actually found an image. It looks like just like an old Edsel or something like that, but with a face stuck on the front.
Oh my god!
So,
yeah, it's pretty awful. Yeah, really.
But that's
like
the
a
one.
Train, like a modified train. And I think the second best Batmobile was the one they did for Kenner Superpowers toys. That had the actual Batman battering ram on it. I think that was. I mean, I had that, so I was.
Yeah, so you're a little partial to that.
I'm very, very partial. But I think in the scheme of things, yeah. All right. Well, R.I.P. George Barris.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was that was unfortunate, sad news that we got today, but or not today, a couple days ago. But also a little happier news from the land of Batman: a painting of Batman by Mel Ramis entitled "A Sinister Figure Lurks in the Dark" sold at auction for $173,000.
Wow.
And
you doing that in your like Dr. Evil voice? So
yes, 1,000.
Was he underpaid?
Yeah, he actually is Mel Ramis he's not known for doing like comic book inspired stuff.
He's just a proper painter. Is that...
Yeah, but that's the stuff he started with. He did a series of different comic inspired stuff.
Oh, cool.
And so this stuff came up for auction, and
interesting. All right, he's got a sort of real simplified style.
Yeah,
looks like.
Yeah, and it was the painting that he did. That's it right there. It was very much it was very much a throwback to the original Bob Kane drawings, with the big high ears and really a mysterious figure, almost like Dracula with the covering part of his face and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's what it was a throwback to. That's why it's called "A Sinister Figure Lurks in the Dark."
Nice.
And something else I saw a couple days ago: Arkham Knight has been re-released on PC.
Yep.
But they're offering refunds.
Oh my lord!
Because apparently people are still not happy with it.
Yeah, I think it's still, the reviews are still mixed, and it's a shame because it's one of the most anticipated Batman games. I mean, it's like it's the finisher for that series.
And I haven't gotten it because I still haven't finished Arkham City. So
Arkham City's still great. It's still fun to play. And...
Yeah, I played Arkham Asylum, and it took me a while to get through it, and then I went to Arkham City about the time that Arkham Knight was coming out. So I get just a little bit of time to play every once in a while.
Nice.
So it takes me a while to get through, and I usually have to end up desperately trying to remember what I was doing, because it's been like a month since I played.
Like,
I have to go. What was that?
Yeah, right. You show up in some room and you're like, "Who is the villain?
Yeah, what's going on here?" Yeah. So
my brother, like when he came and visited, we were playing Arkham Asylum. I was playing with my daughter, and I was like, "Oh, well, you guys play for a little bit." And then like I went and did something. I came back in 25 minutes, and they were finished with the game. And they'd beaten like 4 levels. She's like, "Daddy, Uncle David's amazing." And I was like, "Yeah, he's great."
Great.
Like,
way to go.
Dude, we're at a game. Like,
thanks, man.
We have to play it again. And then my daughter's going to be like, "You played this already."
Way to go. Leonard Nimoy's son, Adam. Well, actually, I think, it was the one that was last night. The episode of Big Bang Theory that was on last night.
Nice. Who did he play?
He played himself.
Oh, himself.
He's actually shooting I don't know if he's actually doing this or whether it was just something for the show. He's there to shoot a documentary about his dad and his dad's legacy and impact on real life sciences. So they come to talk to Sheldon.
Cool.
And it's
funny. There was an episode with Leonard Nimoy, wasn't there?
Yeah, he did the voice of his own action figure. Because
awesome.
They had Leonard and Sheldon both had these the old the action figures from the 60s. What were they? I forget now.
I don't know. G.I. Joes or what?
No. It was Star Trek figures. It was a certain type.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Migos.
Oh.
Okay. The Migo figures that actually had cloth clothes and stuff like that.
But was it rubber bodies with like a hard head, like a?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and they had those figures, and for Christmas or for something, Penny got both of them the transporter set that goes with them, and she couldn't understand why they didn't want to open them. So Sheldon has this big internal conflict about whether he should open it and lessen the value, but actually be able to play it. No, he goes. No, he goes and opens the thing. Then the transporter breaks immediately.
Oh.
So he traded it out with Leonard's. So then Leonard Nimoy comes in the dream and the action figure talks to him with Nimoy's voice.
Oh, is it like a conscience?
It's like a conscience, yeah. So he was on the show kinda.
Cool. That's good enough for me, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. So
But
it's all we got of him. So
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. I haven't watched the episode yet, but it was on last night. So,
cool.
And this is another thing that they keep coming out with this stuff with Star Wars that I just have to have now. They had the Han Solo. I know the Han Solo mini fridge. Now they've got an R2D2 mini fridge.
All right. The Han Solo frozen in carbonite fridge, I think, is the best Star Wars fridge that can ever be.
But okay, this is,
or maybe it's Hoth. Like if
this
they did
is
like a Hoth playset.
This is like a full size mini fridge. So you know how tall those are.
Oh yeah.
It's R2D2
with the dome
that
head?
height. Yes. You just open the front of him, and the fridge is inside there.
Oh,
how cool is that?
It's all right. I'm half agreeing with you because I think R2 makes a great garbage can. I think he holds the champion belt. Okay, the Intercontinental Champion for being the best garbage can. I think Han's the best fridge.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
But what appliance would Slave Leia be? I knew I'd get you.
I can't say that. But the R2D2 mini fridge,
the can opener,
is $9,000.
Oh boy! All right.
So that's where the dream ends.
Pull out what you got. What do we got? Let's chip in.
We're chipping in for the Batmobile. We can't do this.
We got the Kickstarter. We'll have to do a second one.
Yeah. And we saw a video earlier. Actually, the first thing I saw of it was a picture of Ryan Reynolds dressed as Deadpool because he famously said he stole a suit.
Stole a suit. Yeah.
So he went out on Halloween dressed up as Deadpool. He found a group of kids that were dressed up as the X-Men, and this video surfaced of him basically interacting with the kids. Hilarious.
That's absolutely hilarious.
Absolutely hilarious. And
I loved it when he says to the kid, he like kneels down and he's like, "All right, you're off the team." He's like, "No, I'm just kidding. Come back." He's like, "No, you're back. All right, now you're really off the team. Go sit down."
And it was at one point he took a shot at the X-Men movies. And because one of the kids had like a different costume, and he grabbed him, turned to the camera, and said, "You're messing up the kids' heads. Stop with the continuity." Because now the X-Men movies are jumping in time.
Oh, so they're going to show all the different Wolverine.
So it's like So he's like, "You're messing with the kids. Stop it." Stop. But it was hilarious, and I hope that the bleeps weren't actually him cussing in front of the kids. I'd hope
you're
not.
Hoping. Oh, you're hoping not. Okay,
I'm hoping not.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm like, those poor kids are so corrupt.
Yeah, exactly. I hope he wasn't doing that. So.
But my favorite thing is at the end, there's like one kid who's like, I think he was drunk.
That's awesome. But it was a really, really funny video.
Yeah, if you get a chance, take a look at it.
Yeah,
we'll have to get it on the Facebook page.
Yeah. And a very special city crushing happy birthday to Godzilla.
Sorry, I'm doing the theme song.
Godzilla turned 61 years old. I guess technically plus like 1,000 or so because he was supposed to be prehistoric.
That's right.
That's
right. I think Gamera is just a little bit older than him. The spinning turtle.
Yeah. God, I love those movies. But Gojira is 61 years old.
Awesome. Happy birthday. How do you say happy birthday in Japanese?
That
I'd
I
love
do
to know
not
that.
know.
Oh, man. We got to look that up.
Say
we have to expand our
Konnichiwa.
horizons.
Konnichiwa is hello.
I think it's hello. All right.
Yeah. So, but that don't count.
I don't think it works. And if we light candles, he might radiate us.
That's true. Yeah.
Yes.
And back to the Star Wars news and stuff that came out. There's a Death Star waffle maker.
How much is that? Like $12,000.
That's actually only like $30.
That's no moon.
Yeah. That's available at thinkgeek.com. If you've never been to ThinkGeek,
it's the greatest thing ever.
Oh, it's awesome. You should go and they're the little monkey logo that they have. They're
I thought it was like a. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, their mascot is like a monkey, and his little head's in the logo. You know what his name is?
What?
He's Timmy the monkey.
Oh, just like you.
That's right.
We got to get you in the logo.
Yeah. And Star Wars Battlefront actually today announced new interactive websites,
which we
to show you
how much.
Yeah, we just spent like 20 minutes just watching them and had to go. Okay, we got to record the show. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, it's incredibly cool.
It features the planets that are available in the game. well, the original set that's available to get. I'm sure there's going to be downloadable content.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But the first 4 are Hoth, Endor, Sullust, and Tatooine.
Awesome.
And they look incredible, absolutely incredible.
Which was your favorite?
Probably Hoth.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I've always loved the Battle of Hoth.
Well, right, you got on that AT-AT head, and you're blasting dudes. Well, you watch gameplay, right? You don't actually get to play.
When you're watching the video, it shows you like the terrain of the planet. Then it'll come to a certain point, and it'll pause, and then there's little things you can click on, like the AT-AT, the ATST, and different characters. It'll even show you, the first one I got on was Endor, and the speeder bike race.
Oh, cool!
Watching that part of gameplay was just crazy. I don't know how you. I mean, I still even watching the movie. It was originally like, okay, how can you keep from splattering on a tree? Watching the game, I had the same kind of thing. It was like, I gotta play that just to see if I can do that without just becoming a bag of bones, slamming into a tree
like the stormtroopers.
Like the stormtrooper, yeah. So, it looks incredible, absolutely incredible. So
I have heard that there's going to be, I forget when it's coming out, but there's going to be a downloadable Battle of Jakku, which is the planet that Rey lives on, that has all the destroyed stuff.
The remains.
So apparently we get to do that. I guess
awesome.
We'll see.
Awesome. Yeah, it'll be like the remains of the.
It's got to be Force Awakens, because it's got to be showing like Han and the Millennium Falcon going through all the wreckage.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see the initial fight.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
it'll be
I don't know where
wreckage,
that came from. We don't know where that's from.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know.
Was it from the Battle of Endor?
Nothing I've ever heard of. I don't know.
Because all these planets are Outer Rim.
Yeah.
Right. So they're relatively close together.
Yeah.
So
I
guess we'll see.
In a astronomical
light years away.
Yeah, light years away. Yeah.
You need the Obi-Wan light jumper. Just put it on your bike.
And here you go.
Pew.
And this, in a weird kind of crossover, William Shatner showed up at the CMA Awards.
I couldn't believe this.
Last night in a stormtrooper outfit.
If he had like a Dr. Zaius mask on, that would have like broke the internet.
I would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been for you kids.
William Shatner.
But yeah, they were the way it was set up was like they were going to do a Star Wars skit, but that got canceled, so they had to go around. This was like the open of the show.
Yep.
They had to go around and tell everyone that it was canceled. So like all these different country stars were dressed in Star Wars stuff. And so they finally go to talk to everybody, and then they get to the front and they start doing their monologue. Stormtrooper comes out, and the guy, I don't know country music, so it was one of the guys with a hat.
There you go.
There's
exactly
there's always a guy with a hat. He's like, Star Wars is like my favorite movie franchise or something like that. Stormtrooper takes the helmet off, and it's William Shatner, and he goes, "After Star Trek."
Yes. Awesome.
So it was kind of a fun thing,
and
then William Shatner sang, which
did he put out an album?
He did, and it was not good.
Okay.
Actually, him and Nimoy both did that.
Way. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did they both try to do the like falsetto like entrance like in the theme song?
No. Again, if you have some time at some point, go to YouTube. Leonard Nimoy, The Ballad of Bilbo Baggins. It's.
Can we
it's
take a break? We'll be right back, folks.
It's something, all right. It's just look it up. It's crazy.
The song from
it's song from his his album.
Oh my God!
It was amazing. The Ballad of Bilbo Baggins.
That's amazing.
It's nuts.
Oh man.
Yeah. So. Well, let's just head right into our movie and TV news.
Yes.
Biggest thing for me this week.
I know. Oh my God.
I was absolutely going crazy. Star Trek has announced a new Star Trek series will premiere in January of 2017.
Let's nerd high five and miss.
Absolutely. There it goes. Yeah.
Awesome. What's going to be the thing?
I'm so happy.
Yeah, how are they going to do it?
They haven't said what it's going to focus on, whether it's going to be in the new continuity or whether it's going to be in the old, or what they're going to do.
Oh, the Abrams continuity. Okay.
Yeah. They haven't announced what they're going to do, and it's going to. The biggest thing is the premiere episode will be on CBS.
Okay.
After that, it's going to be on CBS All Access, which is a digital subscription streaming service.
They're doing that. CBS is breaking away.
This is what they're going to do to anchor this thing.
Yeah, they're gonna nerd They're going to nerd glean
and
get us to pay for it.
If you think about it, when Next Generation came out,
Yeah.
it was syndication. Nobody had ever done that before.
Yeah.
Paramount owned it at the time and said, you know what? This is going to be syndication. We're going to sell this sucker.
And it's
everywhere.
It's still on how many channels still buy it? You
Yeah.
know? TNT forever.
Yeah.
Right? Had it for
So
like 10 years.
A first run show, I don't think had ever went basically straight to syndication.
Right. And
like
after how many years? When was Star Trek on the air? 66
to 69.
And then it came out, what, 88?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, for no Star Trek and then for that to happen?
Yeah. And it was ballsy move and it worked. And now they're doing the same thing. And you think about it, if you want to start your own proprietary streaming service and you own Star Trek, that's a no-brainer right
Trekkers,
there.
Yeah,
do it,
sure.
man. And you can, and CBS All Access, you can get all the episodes of all the shows.
I know. It's cool. It's cool.
So
but
it's
like
very
one
cool.
more thing to pay for.
Exactly, and it's $5.99, so it's not exactly cheap either, as streaming services go.
That's what stopped me from doing Supergirl because like I don't have cable, so I might just get an antenna and just watch.
I don't know. Is CBS All Access? Is it going now?
Yeah, it's on.
It's
you can
already
watch
on.
it
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I downloaded the CBS All Access app on my Roku,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, sign up and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not like if you have a cable subscription, which is
$5.99.
all the other channels
all the other
are
ones
doing.
are
Whatever. That's
Yeah.
fine. But hey, new Star Trek, man. That's awesome.
I'm awesome. And we talked about it like a month or so ago. How I always feel that Star Trek is better served as a ongoing series instead of just a movie.
Exactly.
And so this is what but the one thing I was looking at, they're planning for premiere January 2017.
Right.
Next year,
It's
September
beyond.
8th, 2016, will be the 50th anniversary of the premiere of the original series.
Whoa.
Work a little bit, get a couple months, premiere it in September. It doesn't have to necessarily be September 8th.
Right.
But premiere it
Celebrate
in September.
and then have a premiere as a
50
second thing
years.
because everybody's going to go okay and
Yeah.
give it a shot, even if they're not Star Trek fans.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be. A great thing.
they're going to air it on CBS, the pilot.
That's free.
So yeah, that's free.
Yeah.
So I think it makes the most sense to do it in September.
Now, always thinking of the throwback, I always loved the Trouble with Tribbles crossover episode with DS9.
Yeah.
When like Cisco's sitting
Trials
there.
and Tribulations.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Damn, Timmy.
Dude,
I'm not a human. Yeah. You are Brainiac 15. It was just so well done. I think it was
extremely well done.
One of the best examples of CG of the time. I think
Mm-hmm.
where even now it looks a little dated. You can tell the lighting, but back then I was like, damn,
They
that's
did a
smooth.
really good job of, and this is all stuff that wasn't shot in HD.
Yeah,
And
right. It
now
was still
we're seeing it in
SD.
HD, and that's where you can start to see the creases.
Right.
But I mean, if you watch the Blu-ray stuff of the original series that they remastered,
Yeah.
it looks phenomenal
Really?
because they went back to the
film.
to the film,
Which is at the 16:9 or whatever that aspect ratio is, 1:16:1 or whatever it is.
Yeah, and they transferred everything from the original film. So you see stuff now in the Blu-ray that I've been watching Star Trek since I was 6 years old probably.
In a square, right?
Yeah.
So you get the two sides cut. So are you
you
getting
get the
more
pillar
image?
No, you still get the pillar box
okay,
because
okay.
it was still a 4:3 aspect ratio.
Okay.
But you get to see the subtlety of the lighting that they did
Yeah.
that you never pick up on TV.
Right.
Especially like the old prints. Some of the stuff they were doing, you'd never pick it up on TV
Because like interlacing and TV noise, right?
Yeah, just the crappy signal, crappy set, stuff like that. You never pick that stuff up.
Yeah.
But the sets are lit beautifully. That it's awesome to see it now the way they lit it at the time.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah, so it's really cool. So
Awesome.
But yes, I'm really excited about. Obviously, I'm really excited that
It shows.
that's coming. Yeah,
It's showing. You're blushing.
so
right
I
now.
will, I will be paying my $5.99 to watch it.
All right.
So, like I said,
Can I borrow your code?
yeah, that was my thing. It was like they're forcing us into paying for it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I won't, But
well, look,
well, again,
maybe this is CBS's rise.
Like I said, they want to really kick off this CBS All Access and make it something that people want.
Because I think
better way to do it?
The superhero thing's going to start to level off, right? But I think they're going to bring in Star Trek, which will be sort of the same audience, but a different sort of genre slightly. It's not superhero, and I think then, oh my God, that's going to be like they'll revitalize the whole thing.
Yeah, and I mean you still, like you were just saying, Next Gen is still on now. BBC America runs it. I called out an episode the other day.
Yeah,
and just that's what the thing I love about Star Trek is a TV series. They had an episode that was, I mean, there was very little fighting at all. There wasn't a whole lot really going on. It was cerebral. You had to think your way through it, and they were, because they had a series, they could do stuff like that. It didn't have to be like bang action,
mega arc.
Yeah. It didn't have to be like wall to wall action like a movie kind of needs to be.
Yeah.
Because you don't want a boring movie.
No, it's 2 hours, right? Or at least of movie time.
So they're able to kind of stretch their legs a little bit and do a little more in a ongoing series. So
I love the 2-parters. Like I can't wait for some good 2-parters to come back when like Majel Barrett is like, tune in next week.
Is
she passed?
She's still with us.
Majel Barrett?
I think she's passed.
Oh. Yeah, I think she did pass.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're ending on a bad note.
Yeah, there you go. And that did it. It segues perfectly into The Walking Dead. Oh, that's not
zombie
right.
Majel Barrett.
That's not right.
Nurse Chapel? Is that you?
And she was the original
computer voice?
No, she was a computer voice, and she was the original first officer.
That's right.
In the pilot.
In the cage?
The cage. Yep.
Yeah.
She was number one. She was never given a name other than number one. But they didn't like her. She came off as cold. So they made Spock
because he's warm as
warm,
and
yes.
fuzzy. Yeah.
But for The Walking Dead, this comes from the file.
Yep.
It's been officially renewed for season 7. Yeah, no kidding.
All right.
Of course it has.
I'm surprised they haven't done 5 already.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but we got on this week's episode, we were told by Scott Gimple that the question, the question of whether Glenn is here or not here, what happened to him would be cleared up. Maybe he said season or episode 5, and I just didn't catch that part. Because there was no mention and no real
it was
resolution
all
to that. It was like
origin story.
It was like a flashback of where he became Yoda.
A bow master.
Yeah,
right.
Yoda Morgan.
Well, he's Aikido, right? Was what he studied.
Aikido's,
what was that guy's name who like kind of took
Eastman.
him in?
Eastman. And that was watching The Talking Dead, which is a show that comes on after. Chris Hardwick pointed out something that I thought was very interesting.
What did he say?
The guy's name Eastman, and he uses a bow staff.
Ninja Turtles.
Ninja
Eastman
Turtles.
and Laird's
Eastman
Donatello.
And Laird, yeah.
There you go.
So and at one point he was wearing a shirt that said "Save the Tortoise," which
that might be.
No, that's
really.
That was Gimple said that was all part of this guy's fictional backstory.
Okay.
At some point there was a bar, like a local bar, that was being shut down, and that's why it's not Save the Tortoises. It was Save the Tortoise.
Oh, I see. Okay, because the Tortoise was the name of the pub. Or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh man.
But I think that was very interesting that Hardwick made some good points. Like his name's Eastman, and he's using a bow staff. So
he is like the ultimate forensic nerd.
And absolutely, yeah.
Nerdologist. Yeah. That's why he's at Nerdist.
That's a Nerdist. Yeah.
He's great.
But yeah, it was nice to see that, and where Morgan got this appreciation for human life, and you see Morgan at his lowest. He wanted to die.
Yeah, I really
was
wondered.
begging for him to kill him.
Right. Always. Yeah.
And the metaphor of the cage was never locked.
Yeah.
What he had put himself into mentally, he could get out of at any point, just like he could get out of the cage at any point.
Mm-hmm.
But he had to choose to do it, and he had to come out of that.
Yeah. And that cage being where he held that guy, who had
wow
murdered his wife.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He
That
was
story
trying to help
was
in
nuts.
prison. Oh man, that was incredible. I was like,
that story was
dark.
nuts. Yeah,
really dark.
yeah. It was interesting, and they do this a lot when they have something like what happened last week, so gut wrenching and so intense.
Yeah,
they will have an episode, and you hear a lot of people complain about it, but this is like almost like a palate cleanser.
right. You got to breathe.
You got to breathe. You have to calm it back down.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be that way all the time, especially with a character like Glenn. It's an impact.
How do you keep that?
Yeah.
Top that, because you're gonna, if you over energize, then we're gonna be burnt out.
Yeah.
As an audience,
It's
a great
a
point.
huge. It's a huge impact on the show, the viewers, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of dial it back a notch, and they do that all the time. They'll give you a character piece. This was about Morgan. This is what got him to where he is now. This is what has built his character.
And I think we went with Morgan, right?
Mm-hmm.
We sort of thought like, well, how do we become peaceful in this crazy world? And I think,
and last we saw him, he was bat poop crazy.
right.
So
and I think we were crazy as audience members after Glenn's supposed death, right?
Mm-hmm.
That like, what the hell's going on? You know, like,
Yeah.
we're lost. But then to sort of maybe it was a great metaphor, great storyline for us
Yeah.
to recenter and become normal again in that world.
and the rapper is him telling this story to a wolf.
Yeah, right.
And my question was, does anybody know that wolf's in there?
I don't think so. I
don't
that's
think so either.
That's his serial killer.
Yep.
That he's doing the same thing that Eastman did to that John
Well,
Wayne Gacy. Or
he's
whatever
trying
that guy's
to
name.
he's trying to do for the wolf what Eastman did for him.
Right. But
He's
I think
trying
what
to pull him
gonna-
back, but now he's realized there's no, and the guy
There's no
was
help.
like,
Yeah,
"There's
he's
no
like,
help.
When I get out, I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to kill everybody else.
Right.
Because that's what I got to do."
So I think he did it. He did
Yeah.
what Eastman ultimately had to do.
Yeah.
For peace.
Yeah.
It was his exception, perhaps.
Yeah. So it was really, really good episode. It was intense, and I enjoyed that when they give you real in-depth character pieces like that. And I'm forgetting the guy's name right now, who plays Morgan. It's Lenny something.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Hats off to him for this one.
He's a British actor.
That was all him.
Nice.
He put that episode on his back, and just because there's not a lot that's really going on. It's fueled by his performance, and his performance was off the charts.
He's
It
been in
was
a few
great.
Guy Ritchie movies, right? Where
Yeah.
I think he's been in that action role before. I've never seen him as a fighter,
Yeah.
but yeah, he can in those roles he's played. I think he was in Snatch, I believe, but he can
Probably.
get like super into it and like
Yeah.
make you feel like this guy's about to shoot everybody or kill everybody or eat somebody. Like
Yeah, his
that
performance
across
was
great.
really, really off the chart
I
good.
totally
So,
agree. Yeah, that
yeah.
opening part was dark.
Yeah.
Dark.
Yeah.
I have to clear, and when he made
You
the,
have to clear,
the
yeah.
pungent sticks and stuff, I
Yeah.
was like, damn.
And that's the thing. He was so single-minded that he couldn't let anything else in. He had to. I've got to do my job. That's what I've got to do. And he couldn't do anything else.
Right.
And Eastman was able to slowly pull him out of that, and make him realize that he could do whatever he needed.
Yeah.
And the Aikido helped.
Yeah.
And Aikido is, they got a little into it in the episode, but
It means don't
there
kill.
there are no strikes in Aikido.
Nope.
Traditional Aikido.
Yeah. It's all
It's
flow.
It's redirection
movement.
of movement. It's
Redirection,
all
exactly.
circular.
Mhm.
There are no strikes.
Right.
It's completely a peaceful martial art. That seems weird to say, but
With
now
big pants.
yes. Now, granted, it can be.
You break your wrist.
It can be an extremely useful form of self-defense.
Right.
I've studied some of it, so yeah, it's very useful, and it's very useful to have in a self-defense kind of point of view.
Yeah, right. They train you with the knife stab, right?
And
The sort
you
of the
just
down,
turn
the
it
gun,
around, you
right?
bring it and every move has a really cool Japanese name. It's Uranagi and stuff like that is
Awesome.
the name of the wrist holds and stuff. And I'm probably when I was practicing, I was probably about 325, 330, and I've been flipped
By
easily.
A little 5'1".
No. This was a bigger guy, but still, there was no question. I was going.
Yeah.
I was not helping at all, but I was going.
Wow.
So yeah, it's extremely useful, extremely intricate martial art.
I gotta say, the most hilarious moment in the episode was when Eastman ate the cheese from the
Oh
goat.
yeah. And they actually on Talking Dead
Did they bring some?
They would put like lemons and like different spices and stuff in there to get reactions out of him, so that he wasn't just yeah. So it was like a real reaction.
Oh man, yeah. Cheese is, if you don't do it right, it's
yeah, not good. So maybe next week we'll get the answer about Glenn for sure.
Yeah. What'd you think about Flash this week and what they released, comicbook.com, right? With the pictures?
Yeah. Comicbook.com released really scary looking pictures of Zoom.
He's so creepy.
They're up close, and the thing that I really got to, we talked about his fingers are pointed.
Yeah, his gloves.
His gloves are pointed, and but if you look at his suit, it's almost exactly
like
Barry's suit.
Right. The side communicators and everything is just a full face.
The only thing that's really different is it's the reversed lightning bolt in the center.
But it's all one color.
But
right?
it's all black.
It's the 3D that sort of makes it pop out. And we can see his eyes. No glowing blue.
Could it be possible, and this is just me spitballing, this is nothing from the comics or anything.
Go.
Could it be possible that Earth 2 Barry Allen is Zoom?
I guess we don't know if there's an Earth 2 Barry Allen. Oh. Well, because Wells created
suit is
Barry
extremely similar. That's what I'm saying.
And Wells created Barry on Earth 1, right?
Yep.
And he said, I created Zoom on Earth 2.
Yeah.
And that's why he's like, no, you don't want to mess with this at all.
Yeah.
Because maybe everybody knows it's Barry, but they're so scared that they're like, it's the darkest form of Barry we've ever seen.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a great theory, Tim.
And I want to know what exactly is going on between Wells and Jay Garrick.
Well, why are they so scrapping?
They are really, and it's very pointed stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying you're a coward.
Right.
He's really, really pissed at him.
You talking about that moment where Wells was saying the future with the watch or whatever?
Yeah. No. There's that, but then when they were in Earth 1, and he's saying, you didn't do this, and because you're a coward. I mean, it's not just like a casual thing.
You're bad.
I think there's something that happened between the two of them that needs to be explored.
Yeah, it's like, why do they have two flashes? What was it that caused? Yeah, how did metahumans happen on Earth 2? What was the reason?
I don't know. It was his supposedly his experiments with dark matter, which is kind of the same thing that happened on Earth 1.
Yeah, I suppose. But then we learned also that Atlantis is above the ocean.
Exactly. Yeah, and he says
Arthur.
My friend lives there, and Emma was like, "Oh, Aquaman."
Yeah.
So
he's not an Earth. Is there an Earth 2 Aquaman?
I don't think so.
No, right? Because he was a Silver Age character.
Yeah, he was a Silver Age character, I think.
They're having a lot of liberty with that.
Yeah, exactly. And did you notice the scene there on Earth 2 when he was doing his little press conference with the Apple Watch?
The Apple Watch.
Yeah.
You said it, not me. All right.
The mock-up of the spaceship.
What did it look like?
That was, if I'm correct, that was kind of a mock-up of the original look to Kal-El's ship in Golden Age.
Yeah.
Like when they first showed the ship that he came to Earth in.
Yeah.
I think that was supposed to be kind of a nod to that.
I didn't get a good look at it, so
yeah.
Interesting. That's a great theory. I mean, we have no super person yet, but we've got now nods to Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
We've got
several
now a
nods
mention.
to Hal Jordan.
Yeah, right. Between Ferris Air, the jacket.
Yeah.
And then they
that was
lost
the biggest
pilot.
one there. Yeah.
Yeah.
The jacket was the biggest.
In that bar.
Yeah.
Right. And then now we've got on Earth 2 that it's full of heroes. The world, it seems like,
Seems to be, yeah.
and full of villains too. And then that Atlantis is above the ground, which is like or the ocean.
Yes, there's a little bit of difference there that we're slowly getting the differences told.
Yeah.
So,
and I love that the Firestorm is working out. The new who's the new guy?
New Matrix. Jax.
Right.
Was it Gerald Jackson?
I think so.
Something like that. Yeah.
But he seems like
he goes by Jax. Yeah.
Yeah, I like his like the way they made him. His persona is really cool. He's not a punk, He tried to come off like that, but he's not really one.
He's not. Yeah. And
that other guy,
him and the professor seem to be getting along really well. So.
Yeah.
Because there for a while, Ronnie and the professor kind of butted heads a little bit.
Right.
So, but I think that experience kind of showed the professor like, okay, we need to work together a little better.
Mm-hmm.
So
as opposed to we just are
being a pain in the ass all the time.
You ride and I'll drive.
Yeah. And with the professor, that was the thing in the comics. You always had the professor who had the chemical knowledge because he has to know the formula.
Oh, right.
For stuff to do it. So the professor knew all the formulas, and then he would
will it.
Will it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
but we got Dr. Light, right, as a bad person.
Linda. Yeah,
as Linda
that
Lee.
was crazy.
Yeah.
So and from the promos from next week, they're using Earth 1's Linda as a
lure,
basically a bait to bring. But I don't understand why Atom Smasher did it and then she did it. Why are they trying to kill their Earth 1 counterparts? Because she's saying that way I can get away from Zoom. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it must be that Zoom has he keeps sending bad guys to do his business, right? Mm-hmm. So he must know that the counterparts are doing something, right? So obviously, because his whole thing is let me kill all the other speedsters, right? With Barry being that, but Jay is the anomaly, right? Jay is the anomaly, sort of why
he's lost his powers?
Yeah, two Flashes in one world, but there aren't. I guess there was. It was Reverse Flash in Earth 1. I don't know. That's
speedster.
A really good question. I mean, we're going to find out Zoom's plan because the Enter Zoom episode is coming up.
It's Tuesday,
so I guess we'll see. But yeah, I don't know.
This show they've still continued to knock it out of the park each time
and surprise us.
Yeah,
with knowing what's up, they still twist it in a fun way.
Yeah,
but the one thing that got me was Caitlin, or what? Vibe?
Yeah, we got a name.
Yeah,
he
Cisco
came up with a name. Yeah,
that Barry came up with.
Yeah,
which is the one and only time I'm sure he'll do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But did you notice that the watch didn't work next to Caitlin?
I did not notice that.
So she might go to Earth 2 where she becomes Killer Frost because it seems Earth 2's evil for some reason.
Yeah,
it's got a real bad.
It's got issues. It's got bad juju over there.
Yeah, but it's utopian and everybody's
everything's golden.
Yeah, I love that it's a futuristic deco. Everything's deco, but then high tech. Yeah, at the same time.
It's all every time they show the collider over there, it's like golden.
Yeah, and everything shimmers. It's the
golden age.
Durr. Yeah.
No.
Good call.
There we go. I never that hurt. I smacked myself in the forehead.
Well, that's how you came up with the flux capacitor.
There you go. Now, Arrow, you said you haven't watched this week.
No,
this week was the one with Constantine.
Awesome.
And it was really good. And he took a shot at NBC. When he was preparing the I guess for lack of a better word, the spell or whatever he was going to do.
I did watch the sizzle reel, so I did see that we're going to need somebody to help with this one because Sarah's so beyond.
Yeah. And he was telling Felicity all the stuff he needed. One of them was the feather from a dead peacock. And
really?
So she brought all that stuff. Joke? He took that one and used it to scratch his back. He stuck the feather down the back of his shirt.
Oh no!
And scratched his back.
The logo that they made fun of.
Yeah, the Peacock Network. That's the kind of the thing I picked up.
Okay.
But he was like, he scratched his back. He's like, I've been trying to get that for days. Like nothing better to scratch an itch than a dead peacock.
Ooh, that's a a real veiled punch to the face.
Exactly. But yeah, it was really cool, and he talked about that he retrieved from the island. He retrieved I don't remember if he called it the staff of Horus.
Okay.
Horus is the hawk god.
Right. Which is Hawkman.
Exactly.
So there's another.
So he took the staff from the island, and he did some kind of weird thing at the end where he did a spell, and the inscription from the staff went onto Oliver as a tattoo, like on his stomach.
Oh.
So I don't know exactly what that inscription was. They didn't show a close-up of it or anything. But one of his tattoos is not a tattoo. It's that spell from that from that staff.
Which is what we were supposed to get Hawkgirl, right?
Yeah, she was on there. Oh, she was on Flash. The girl that Cisco couldn't ask out, or he tried to ask out. She shot him down,
and then
that's
asks
her.
him out, or
that's Hawkgirl.
Says, "Get out."
That is her.
Why does every hero work at Jitters?
You have to. There's some kind of
some sort of thing. It's like hero
it's entry level.
Yeah, right. It's right.
Yeah.
Can you make a latte? Okay, cool. Here's an enchanted mace.
But with Constantine, he talked about he has a safe place he keeps stuff. That's the mill.
Oh, okay.
And which was shown on the TV show.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff I watched the first episode and I just didn't really get into it.
Right. We had a similar sort of feeling on that quality of that first
looking
episode.
at some of the stuff that they've written about this now, I kind of want to go back and look
and use that
watch
as
it because
pre-reference.
they did introduce Jim Corrigan, pre-Spectre Jim Corrigan.
Oh, right. That's what his name is because he's a detective.
Yeah, he was a detective. They introduced Detective Jim Corrigan.
Cool.
And then there was something else that I saw today that they had done in the show. I think it was the mill. They were talking about the stuff that's in there. You can see Dr. Fate's helmet. You can see, what was there? Something else. The Ibis stick from Ibis the Magician.
Oh, Ibis. Yeah. The Magician. Right. He's a villain.
Yeah.
Or is he a good guy or a bad guy?
No, he's a bad guy.
Okay.
No, he was a good guy. He was a good guy.
Okay.
And then in one episode, they fought Felix Faust.
Awesome.
So I kind of want to go and watch it now.
To see how they handled those villains.
Yeah.
Because Felix Faust should be, I don't know, they've shown him 10 ways. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Looks,
Yeah, because he's been around since like 42.
Yeah,
so
he's looked like
forever.
a magician with a top hat at some points.
Yeah.
But then he also looked like a sort of an Arabic-like wizard.
Shriveled up old poor thing in this.
That's right. Taking his soul.
Yeah. But they also in the flashbacks, the guy who's in charge, they named him last night. It's Baron Ryder.
Oh, for Baron Blitzkrieg.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's who Baron Blitzkrieg is in the comics. So, but he's a little different. It's not the same character. Well, he's not a Nazi. So that's a little different right there. Yeah, Blitzkrieg was like a neo-Nazi.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought he was had to do something with Hydra and that whole world.
No, that's Marvel. That's a different universe.
Oh, I guess that's.
You're thinking Baron Zemo.
Baron Zemo.
Sorry. All these lords and.
Yeah, Baron Blitzkrieg sounds like a Ramones song. But yeah, well,
Baron Blitzkrieg Bop.
Yeah. He's got to dance too.
Yeah.
All right, I got to see this because I want to know what Baron Blitzkrieg looks like. What's the context for Baron Blitzkrieg? He has nothing to do with Captain Nazi, right?
No, I don't know now.
Oh, okay.
I've forgotten.
All right, we'll have to.
Yeah.
Don Heck created him. It looks like.
Okay. Now he was.
Wow.
Is he the one that has the big swastika on his chest?
He's got the he's got the eagle with the cross.
Yeah,
but no, he's got
Squadron,
swastikas on him.
Yeah, he was a classic or Golden Age
villain,
or Earth 2 specifically.
Cool.
But Gotham has also cast B.D. Wong as Hugo Strange.
Awesome.
Because they had talked about they were going to have Professor Strange on there, but now he's been cast. It's definitely going to be a different Hugo Strange then, because Hugo Strange was like the
English,
bald,
with
little bitty tiny
chops.
glasses, the gigantic mutton chops, and
he looked like the Monitor a little bit, like
without
the cornrows.
Yeah, without the cornrows. Yeah. So BD Wong, he's a great actor. So it's going to be interesting how he does it.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be the same Hugo Strange that we know from the comics.
Cool.
So,
good.
But hey, if they pull it off, then they pull it off.
Yeah,
So.
hope they make it exciting.
And Nathan Darrow has been cast as Victor Freeze.
Cool.
Kristen Hager as Nora Freeze.
Which you'll never forget her name.
Exactly. And Tommy Flanagan from Sons of Anarchy will play the Knife, which is not a character I know.
Okay.
So it must be new to the show.
Maybe it'll be Zaj, maybe kind of like a thing.
Oh, well.
Or he's the only one I know that's a knife, right?
Zaz is already on the show.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the mob hitman that works with Penguin.
The one without a hand now?
Did he get his hand cut off?
Well, his like that guy like got.
He's the
on the
bald
last
one.
episode?
He's bald and like with no eyebrows either.
Oh, this is somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's like a hitman that like is working for Penguin and then also for somebody else, and then I don't know.
Yeah, I got to catch up with Gotham.
You're my like.
I did
explainer.
watch.
You do the closed caption for me on Gotham.
I did watch Jerome's demise,
and
I loved what they did afterwards. So it was
where
like
everybody watched.
Everybody's watching
so
and laughing.
The demon
and
spread.
killing people. Yeah, the demon spread. Exactly. That's the best way to put it.
Who is this character supposed? Is he supposed to be like Harvey Dent, or like who's he supposed to be?
Which one?
The what's his name? The main boss, who has Catwoman and the Whip Lady, and then also the Harley Quinn like character under his sort of.
Yeah,
who is he?
I think he may be part of the Court of Owls.
Okay, because he does have that very dark side.
Yeah, and he's he is putting himself forward as the hero.
Right, because he killed Jerome. So
his bad acting was so hilarious.
When he went to go see Jim after.
No, when he stands up to Jerome when he's no, you need to stop, and it was like he was so horribly hamming it up that it was just hilarious when you know that this is all part of his plan. It's this
That's what made me think Two-Face
a good actor
for a second.
Acting as a bad actor. That was what
was hard to do.
Exactly.
Act badly is hard to do.
When you're taught to not do that.
Yeah.
So,
but show keeps getting better and better, man. It
does. Yeah, it really does. And the X-Files has released a new trailer.
Oh.
It was called The Truth.
And how was it?
It's pushing that again. The truth is out there. The real truth still going on.
Nice.
You get a little more. You don't get a whole lot more footage that we haven't seen already.
Okay.
But you get a little bit of fleshing out that while they don't seem to, Scully and Mulder don't seem to be together anymore, but they still have a relationship.
Okay. Well, obviously they have a past. So
yeah, exactly. So I'm looking for it. And every time, like every trailer, it's like it ends and it goes, the screen goes black and the X-Files comes and that music hits.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh yeah, okay, I'm ready for that.
Oh man, so I'm gonna make it like a dubstep version of that synth sound.
Yikes!
Because that sounds so dated now, right? It sounds.
Yeah, but still, it is. There's no question what it is. As soon as you hear it, it's the X-Files.
I feel like that's like a keyboard. Like how there's Street Fighter. That's like the keyboard synth for Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Bow, ticka, bow, bow. I feel like there's one called Stargazer or like a circular pad.
Yeah.
For X-Files that someone on a Korg was like. Here we go.
Yep. Yeah, probably.
I feel like Korg wrote most of the theme songs in the 90s.
Yeah.
Or Roland, one of them.
Yeah, Roland. I think I had one of those. So.
Yeah, an 808 or 909.
And this is from the rumor department.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take everything with a grain of salt here.
Yeah.
The solo Batman movie that is being talked about could be the Red Hood story. With Jason Todd.
Cool.
So him coming back. Because if in Batman vs. Superman, part of the reason Batman has been kind of retired...
Because something happened to a
Robin.
Yeah.
It could be Jason Todd. Then he comes back as the Red Hood.
If they do that, that would be so awesome. Because then we would get a Nightwing. In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, we kind of have to, yeah.
Yeah. And Teen Titans can easily come in.
Yeah. That would be awesome. Yeah.
I think they're setting it up well.
Yeah.
You mentioning that got me excited for
now, and that's the thing. But it's still rumor at this point, so you never know. You can just take it as a grain of salt. It may just it looks like me sitting here going, "Oh, maybe Zoom is Earth 2's Barry Allen." It sounds cool, but it's not necessarily going to happen. So.
Well, I know we're going to talk about Star Wars because I checked on my own theory and I found out something new.
Oh, okay.
Which I know you don't want to know so much about in between, but we're gonna because you've done that for me. So
yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that, actually, Harrison Ford has said that there is a good reason Luke is not in the posters.
Because Mark Hamill is so ugly now. No? He did not age well.
That's not it. He didn't
Carrie
say
Fisher aged better than he did. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, he did have that wreck in between Star Wars and
didn't he really hurt himself?
He did, yeah. He was in a car wreck, and that was why the Wampa attacked on Hoth.
Oh, like they made it seem like that's what
something happened
gave him a problem.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
If you notice that, right up until the point that happens, all you see is like he's got the thing over his face. You can't see his face all that well at all until the Wampa attacks, and then all of a sudden, then he's all puffy and because he had like a car wreck.
And Dagobah is pretty steamy, so you can blend.
Well, after that, that was fine after that, but they came up with that.
As an injury, to do the
to
scarring and stuff, and
because he had a car wreck. So
that's smart, yeah.
But yeah, the great thing was Harrison Ford is like, there is a good reason, but I can't tell you what it is, because of course everybody's asking him. I think it was Jimmy Fallon that was asking him at the time, and he also has said that the movie is really, really good.
Oh, good. Well,
of course, he's in it, so he's going to say that. But, but yeah, we got a new international trailer for the movie today.
Yeah,
so we just watched that a few minutes ago.
We got some new footage.
We got new footage. The one that was really crazy was Rey, Kylo Ren with his
saber right
in her face, and the effects they were using on it, like, and you never get this from lightsabers. But this had heat coming off of it because it was doing the shimmer effect.
You could see her face through it a little bit as he had it right in her face.
It was a heat shimmer, and you never got that from lightsabers. You didn't get like a heat effect from them.
Unless like Qui-Gon cut open the door.
Yeah,
and those
but like when they showed a lightsaber on screen, you didn't get a heat shimmer from it. This is giving a heat shimmer.
Because we're talking about the crystals, right, and how that's
the way the crystals are burned, and
but that must be the scene where Finn lights up the blue saber, perhaps, and then it's
to face off.
Yeah, to save Rey. I mean, because they seem to have a real good connection.
Yeah, damn, I'm ready for this movie.
Me too, man.
I swear.
I know it's really.
Every time I watch it, it's goosebumps. I cannot wait.
Yeah, right.
Cannot wait.
Right.
So, we've talked about this before. The Amazon Prime show, Lucifer, which is the character from the Sandman.
Yeah.
They released a trailer for it. It looks really, really good.
Cool. I haven't seen this yet.
Yeah, Lucifer has basically quit being the devil.
Right.
He's
as
decided,
he did in Sandman.
As he did in Sandman. Yeah,
right.
He's decided I don't want to do it anymore. And he starts to run a bar in L.A. It's like a piano bar.
Awesome.
And he is the devil, or was for a long time. But in this trailer, you see him care about somebody being killed, and he goes about finding out what happened, who did it, and getting revenge.
Wow.
So it's an interesting
real twist.
Exactly, it's an interesting thing, and there's actually somebody calling him on it.
Saying that's not devil enough.
Exactly. I was like, what are you doing? Yeah. Why are you doing this? You don't care.
Right. He's got everybody to follow that logic, right? For however long. I guess 2,000 years.
So I think this will be a really interesting show.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to it, and it's Amazon Prime series, so I got Amazon.
Have they gotten into any? Yeah, I do too, and I'm pumped about it.
Yeah.
Have they gotten into any other superhero series type things?
No, they've done. They haven't done a lot of originals, maybe a couple.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be one of their big ones.
Cool.
kind of like Netflix with Orange is the New Black was like their real breakaway
Right.
original. And I think they're hoping for this to be kind of the same thing for them.
For their
Yeah.
Well, they have Daredevil, Jessica Jones, so I mean they're right for Netflix. And
yeah, but like Orange is the New Black was like the first one that really blew up for them.
I thought it was House of Cards did. No?
Oh yeah,
Wasn't that
actually,
their
yeah,
first
I think that was
original?
first. Yeah.
But the Orange New Black is a true original because House of Cards is a remake of a British show.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's about Downing Street. It's
Okay,
like it's the House of a Lord.
Oh, okay.
Guy who's the
that's why it's House of Cards.
same as
that makes sense.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey's character.
Okay. All right, that makes sense now. So.
Well, I knew something that you didn't, Timmy.
Yay!
Sorry, I just got a little chalkboard running here.
There you go.
It's the third one.
Make you work. Okay.
Gets erased every week.
And from Alien 5, which will feature Ridley and Hicks.
Hicks was
the Marine. No, he died.
Oh, right.
Hicks was he
was the hero Marine.
Yes,
that like
the hero
had
Marine.
Somewhat of a love interest.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that will feature them. That has been put on hold right now until the Prometheus sequel, which has now been renamed to Alien Paradise Lost, until that's done. So they're specifically making a connection to go, just in case you don't get it, this is Alien.
Why did they miss that chance to really make the connection? They didn't present it well to make it be in the Alien verse.
I haven't seen Prometheus, but even I love the Alien movies.
Yeah. And
I was even going, is that or is it not? Or is it? Maybe?
Well, because what's his name is in it? The guy who played the young Magneto.
Fassbender.
Fassbender. Yeah. And it looks like a great science fiction movie, and he picks up that glowing orb, and you're like, whoa, cool. It's like maybe like a really cool alternate story, and then all of a sudden it gets really violent and people get eaten, and it's like. Okay.
All right, then. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Apollo 18. Did you ever see that?
No.
Oh, all right.
Is that supposed to be like the Lost?
It's the Lost mission where aliens get in the ship and make people crazy. It's
okay.
Like, yeah.
That sounds like good.
It's like the worms from SETI Alpha 6.
This is SETI Alpha 5.
Yeah.
Sorry. I had to go off on
Chekhov. We have to go. Yeah.
Botany Bay. Yeah. I could do this for hours.
Botany Bay. Yeah.
The Guardians of the Galaxy has cast. I'm going to try to get this name. Pom Klementieff.
You did great. We all supported you on that one.
I don't know if it's right, but I did great.
It might not be.
They will play Mantis in Guardians 2.
Cool.
So they're starting to do some casting for Guardians 2. And I think it's supposed to be called Guardians Volume 2. Specifically, they're putting in the volume there. Why, I don't know. Maybe it's the mixtape deal.
Oh, okay.
That's where they're
gotcha. So, to be like the tape volume
like
1, volume 2.
Exactly. So
well, maybe we'll see some of the original Guardians. Like I was looking the other day, and I'm like at my old Guardians comics, and I'm like,
Star-Lord.
Nobody's on.
There's the original Guardians weren't the group we got.
Not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like.
Yeah.
Anyway, well.
And Jessica Jones, Daredevil may make an appearance in the Jessica Jones show, which we're just like 2 weeks away from it all being released.
I'm excited.
I'm really looking forward to it.
The comic's good. Have you got a chance to look at it?
I have not. No, I haven't.
I think it's still free on Comixology.
Okay, cool.
It's a really good comic.
Yeah. And the Preacher is
it's an Image, right?
Yes. It's an upcoming series from AMC. They released the trailer. Did you watch the trailer?
No, not yet.
It's really intense. The Preacher follows Reverend Jesse Custer, a tough Texas preacher who has lost his faith and has learned that God has left heaven and abandoned his responsibility. He finds himself the only person capable of tracking God down, demanding answers, and making him answer for his dereliction of duty. Accompanying Jesse on this journey is his former girlfriend and a friendly vampire who seems to prefer a pint in the pub to the blood of the innocent. On his
Not
tail,
a pint of blood.
On his tail is one of the most iconic bad guys in print, an immortal, unstoppable killing machine named the Saint of Killers.
Oh, lovely.
In the trailer, we don't get any of that in the trailer. What we get is a kid going up to the preacher and saying, people say that you did bad stuff before you were a preacher.
Ooh.
I want you to hurt my dad.
Ooh.
And so he has to kind of turn on the kid and go, all right, kid, Oh, he tries to talk him out of it at first, and then he says, the kid says something else, and he goes, "All right, how bad do you want him hurt? How far do I need to take it? Because your dad's a big guy, so it's not going to go down easy." And so he's like scaring the crap out of the kid, trying to like
really making
back
him think
him
about
off.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, it's one thing to want it, but it's like, well, what are you willing
what are you willing to do
to face? Because he's going to be hurt after. What you going to do about it? Yeah.
So it's really intense, really intense.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm not sure when that premieres. Probably it will be one of those that's going to bridge the gap when Walking Dead's not on. That will probably be their
bridge show.
Their bridge show, yeah.
How's Hell on Wheels doing? Like, speaking of sort of AMC,
I don't know.
Is that still going strong? I know.
I think it is
going good for a while. And
I think it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I have to. There's somebody I know that watches that. I can't remember who it is. I have to check on that and see if it's still going. I believe it is though.
Cool.
And the $6 Billion Man.
Yeah.
The new movie, the remake with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
It will be released in December of 2017.
Awesome.
So we've got an actual release date on that now.
Wow.
So that should be interesting. I'm looking forward to that because that was a fixture of my childhood. So
yeah. I know Chuck Charles, big big $6 million man.
Yes. Now we're
gonna have
adjusted for inflation.
Take out us. Yeah.
And news from Wonder Woman: Nicole Kidman is wanted for the role of this is a quote, high-ranking Amazonian warrior.
Ooh.
That sounds like Hippolyta to me.
Yeah. Well, where in the continuity was Hippolyta the original Wonder Woman? Was that ever because I've read that.
I don't know if that might be an Elseworlds thing.
It might have been a 52 or new
No,
52.
she took over for a while.
Right, because
Wonder
Diana
Woman.
was stripped, like she was put on trial or something.
Yeah, she took over as Wonder Woman.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly when that was, but I do remember that now.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that
might be her.
Certainly seems like that would be the casting for that.
Yeah.
And rumored villains for the movie will be Ares, God of War, obviously, and Cersei, the sorcerer.
Ah, cool.
So that could be interesting. And then this is some really weird news.
What you got?
From the show Riverdale.
Oh, the
Archie show. It's going to be on the CW. The character casting calls basically reveal a little bit about the characters. Okay, Archie is described as a boyishly handsome and fairly muscular, thanks to working a construction job with his father. He harbors more than one dark, terrible secret.
Awesome.
What did you do, Archie?
What did you do with the forklift?
So that's different. The muscular part.
Yeah.
Archie's
never been muscular.
He's never muscular.
Right?
Yeah. Betty. This is nuts. Betty has self-esteem issues and an affinity for Adderall.
Oh man.
She's a pillhead.
They're going
They're going crazy.
They?
Yeah.
Wow.
Veronica will be ideally cast as Latina and is described as a silver-tongued stunner.
Nice.
And her dad, a little switch on her dad will, instead of just being rich, he will have had a scandal and will be in prison.
Oh, so she'll be like in charge of the money or something. Or
yeah, because of something that's happened, he's now in prison. And that's why she's forced to move back to Riverdale.
Oh, man.
And
I like how this is shaping up.
This is the nuts part. Jughead is described as an emo heartthrob.
Perfect. Perfect.
And former best friend of Archie.
Ooh. This is already shade.
There's already, well, that's one of the dark, terrible secrets. Maybe he stole Jughead's hat.
For what?
The little crazy pointy crown hat.
And then what? Like cemented it into like a building or something?
I don't know about this.
The Archie setup's the weakest part, I think, and I really love the way they're talking about Betty.
Yeah,
because Betty's supposed to be infallible, right? From the comics. That's great. She's got that dark side.
Yeah.
And then I think Veronica's finally has her day in court. This is her justice, where she gets to just have like no problems and be great.
And Jughead's an emo heartthrob.
That
kills me.
I love that. I think that's fantastic. Just one quick thing. I don't know if we've discussed this yet, but Southern Bastards has been optioned for a TV show.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh, that could be interesting.
I was in Heroes the other day, and apparently this is not new news, but let's see here. So October 15, 2015, they're already talking about now why The Last Man, right? And then Netflix is perhaps doing a Moon Knight series we talked about. But that FX is the home of Southern Bastards adaptation, which is supposed to be happening. Yeah, I heard it from a couple of the folks in the know at Heroes, and that this is absolutely. So this is June 19th. It says here FX options Southern Bastards for a TV series, and Deadline's reporting that Jason Aaron and Jason Latour's Image comic series has been optioned for a TV series by FX. Aaron and Latour will be executive producers and will adapt the series themselves.
Nice.
That's great. Creator.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it says Jason and I will be very involved in anything that comes to the TV there, and are still very focused on our comics work, especially Southern Bastards. Latour tweeted, "It's going to be a mind-boggling amount of work, but it's really thrilling to take a new step. Cross your fingers, y'all." So. And then they're running it as a Southern Bastards tells the story of a son of a former sheriff coming home to deal with the corrupt football coach and his iron grip on the people of Craw County, Alabama.
So they're sticking specifically with the story.
If the two guys are going to do it.
They're going to be, yeah.
I wonder if they'll shoot it all red and.
It'd be interesting to what they do, because everything is flavored with their coloring on the show. So it'd be interesting how it's shot. Because they'd have to get a specific cinematographer to really get that. Yeah.
Who do you think would play Earl?
I don't know. That'd be a good question.
Who would be all gritty enough, and who would then die?
And have to die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting. That could be fun.
That's probably one of our most favorite series.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we're still waiting for the next issue. Damn.
Yeah. Welcome to independent comics.
Yes, lowercase I for a reason.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, that's our movie and TV news. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take a spin of the comic rack.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast, or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi. I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, before I left my campsite, I was putting out my fire, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me?
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. He likes it when people correctly put out their campfires. He's pretty big on wildfire prevention. He's just letting you know you did good with a hug. He's a hugger.
I just got a bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update!
All right, I'm going to let you go now. I've got a lot of ranger stuff to do. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Hi, this is Andy Smith. I've worked on Thanos with Jim Starlin and Earth 2 for DC Comics. And you're listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast, the only podcast with a kick.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast, your weekly dose of fun and frivolity and a little bit of geekery. Why are you laughing? That makes perfect sense.
Because you just made that slogan up. I thought we talked about this in the meeting. We had a meeting.
But we make everything
I sent you an
up.
Outlook request.
I get too many
of
those.
It means it's a real meeting, Tim.
It doesn't exist if it's not in Outlook.
Okay, so since you want to go rogue here, okay, we're gonna once again, okay, welcome. It's time for the Trivia Sack Tab.
We've got to get an open for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just giving stuff for Chris. Maybe he'll piece something together there. Okay. Welcome to the Trivia Sack Tab. Timmy D, yay! It is the time where we test Timmy D's if he's really a human or not, because he seems to record all this information from the world of geekery, and I don't know.
Like I said, I don't always want it there, but it sticks.
It's like a bear trap with a black hole in the middle of it.
Basically.
So if it gets out, it ain't going anywhere. Okay. So this week, my friend, we were testing you on Star Wars, right? We're really excited and all this stuff. So it's Star Wars of yesteryear, not the stuff you want to know.
Last week was Star Trek, and I did not do that well, and I'm not really happy about that.
We're just taking you down one mantelpiece at a time.
Yeah, you're just breaking me down.
So your Star Trek, you lost a couple of badges on your sash. So
pissed about that.
Yeah, here we go. Star Wars. Here we go. Okay. All right, Han Solo, right? We love him.
Yep.
What famous smuggle run is he famous for?
The Kessel Run.
All right, good job. Okay.
Should I go into more of that? It was said that he did it in less than 12 parsecs, but parsec is a measure of distance and not time.
Oh, well, that's a fail, isn't it? Okay.
And actually, they tried to explain it in one of the extended universe by saying that the Kessel Run, the best way to make it is you have to go around a black hole, and that's how he got it. That's why you say it in parsecs, because the closer you get to the black hole, the more dangerous it is. But you can make it a shorter trip. So that's why. That's why they say.
So if you can do it in the shortest distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have to go around a black hole. And the closer you cut it, the worse.
All right, we're tapping your sack.
Yeah.
You quiet down.
Quiet down, mister.
Here's another one, okay? What is Boba Fett's mother's name?
He didn't have a mother.
Damn. Why? Why?
Because he's a clone of Jango.
Oh. All right.
And he didn't. That was all he asked for, to be the source of all the clone troopers. He wanted one without the what did they call it? The
whatever, the war, the fighting.
No, it was basically it took away their free will, made them a little more susceptible to following orders, no matter what.
Yeah.
He wanted that taken out, and he wanted basically one free clone that was literally a clone of him. A smaller version of him.
This is a yes or no question, and you give me the essay.
I'll give you the essay version. Yes.
All right. This is what happens, folks. When when Timmy gets knocked down, he overcompensates.
This is the can of worms that you opened, mister.
Apparently. Yeah. The worms are chewy. Not all of them are gummy. Okay. Here we go. We got one more. Okay. What is the name of Chewbacca's home planet?
Kashyyyk.
Oh, damn, you're 3 for 3.
Redeemed!
All right, you get a Star Wars medal, and Chewbacca doesn't. All right, well done, Timmy D. All right, folks, this has been the Trivia Sack Tap, which today we could not tap the sack. So Timmy drives away with bouncing truck nuts. Bye. Yay!
Wow.
All right.
That's
let us spin the rusty, tetanus-filled comic rack, my friend.
Meanwhile, back at the Cathedral of Wisdom, it's time for the comic rack. Hey, nice rack.
Knock it off, perv.
No, it's the latest news from the enormous world of comics. Right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, let's take a spin of the comic rack. First thing, Army of Darkness.
Yes.
The Ash vs. the Evil Dead is coming on Stars. Actually, already came on.
It did.
Halloween.
Awesome. And you
I
haven't seen it?
No, I don't have Stars. That's the
I don't either.
Somebody we know does. Jane has it, and I think she watched it. She said it was great. So
awesome. We got to put her on assignment.
Yeah.
You'd be like, Jane, your job is to watch Stars.
She could do that.
At CBS, please.
But Dynamite Entertainment, which is the company that put out the comic book, is releasing all of the Army of Darkness comics into one giant-size Humble Bundle. And I had to look up what a Humble Bundle is. You basically kind of decide where you spend your money. It's like you pay a certain amount and you get
configured.
You get these comics. Then you can pay a little more, and you can get a choice of these. So you basically get
your own custom bundle.
Exactly.
In a way.
Yeah. So you're able to pick out what you get in that bundle. So that's a pretty cool thing.
That's awesome.
So
I'd want the Supreme one with the sour cream and the
the Nachos Bel Grande.
Old school with cinnamon twists.
That's right. So and I think there's 92 different comics in it.
Oh wow.
So it ran for a while. Or it may still be running. but they're putting everything into the giant size Humble Bundle.
Cool.
So you can get Army of Darkness if you love the comics. So, and there's also a new creator-owned series called Interceptor. News is coming out about that. It's from writer Donnie Cates and artist Dylan Burnett. It's a futuristic sci-fi and traditional horror telling of a new kind of vampire story, and has already been picked up for a feature film.
Wow.
So the comic hasn't even come out yet.
So what would they have seen that would have said,
It
oh,
must
that's
have
a
just
film?
been concept.
Ah.
I mean, that'd be the only thing. But if you don't see the finished product, I guess the concept is pretty, you think about some of the stuff that's coming out right now, that would kind of hit pretty good.
I mean, yeah, right. I mean,
sci-fi and horror both.
Martian alone is like the prime example.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. So,
Interceptor, huh?
yep, that's what it's called. So, yeah, it could be pretty good.
So futuristic vampires.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
The
different.
Lost Boys 2.0.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I always,
Cyber Michael.
I always wanted to see a sequel to that movie, but
That saxophone solo by a robot, chromed out robot. What's that guy's name? You know his name.
Tim Capello.
Yep. Imagine if they did him all robot, like Tatooine,
That would
and
be
he was
cool.
like, and he still had it.
That'd be cool. It'd be Star.
Yeah.
Okay, from Marvel Comics, Daredevil, they've released a preview look at the new Daredevil series. Thank God the red pimp suit is gone. He returns to Hell's Kitchen and takes on a new black outfit. It's like it's not like
His devil costume.
Yeah, it's the regular devil costume, but it's black now.
Cool.
And the DD on the chest is red.
So per Degaton.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Which he is in Crisis. Did you notice that?
I did.
Like off to the side, you could see per Degaton.
The villains, yeah.
Yeah. But he's returned to Hell's Kitchen, and not per Degaton, Daredevil, and he has taken on a new sidekick called Blind Spot.
Ooh.
And they in the
Sorry,
preview, yeah, there you go. Blind Man has
rough one,
a
yeah,
guy named
for a-
Blind Spot.
Just go for it. Yeah.
In the preview that they released not long ago, I think it was the big thing that had a bunch of different previews of the new upcoming
the
series.
Marvel preview.
This guy can make himself invisible, and couldn't understand why Daredevil could knew
beat
where
him
he
up.
was. Yeah,
because he can sense him.
exactly. Yeah. So that was the thing there. So you got just a little taste of their little relationship there, because he wants to be a hero, and
Yeah.
he wanted Daredevil to help him, and
He wanted you're the only person who can kick my ass.
yeah he wanted he wanted to prove himself by sneaking up on him, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So so that was kind of sets up the dichotomy between them. So
It's interesting.
yeah, it should be an interesting series. And Matt Murdock joins the DA's office.
Oh wow! And this is after he's been like disbarred, and
I don't
or is that all
know.
retcon?
That's the thing. It's going to be interesting to see where we're at now.
Okay.
Because
you don't get a job
before,
there if
yeah.
you're disbarred.
Before Secret Wars, he had moved to San Francisco. Everybody knew he was Daredevil. He'd come out and revealed his secret identity.
Right.
And so I kind of hope that goes away, because that kind of limits you what you can tell as far as Daredevil stories with that on you there. So
Yeah.
I hope they take this opportunity to retcon everything back to where he's the Daredevil that is the Devils of Hell's Kitchen, and
Still rising
yeah.
up, and Murdoch and Foggy are
Yeah.
coming up as
Yeah.
attorneys.
that'd be good. So, but at least the red pimp suit's gone. So I'm happy with that. So
If Kingpin shows up in one, be like, somebody left this at the cleaners, so I took it.
that'd be awesome.
I had it taken out 3 times.
Now, the new Venom series is called Venom Space Knight, and it will take Flash Thompson in a direction he's always wanted to go, into being a big hero. Venom is now an ambassador of Earth and an agent of the cosmos and part of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
All right.
That's different.
That's a real twist for Venom.
That is a very big twist. So that's why it's called Venom Space Knight. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the symbiote is alien.
Yeah, and I bet he'd probably do amazing things, making shape shifting into guns and probably flying. And wow, that'd be interesting to see what it can do out there.
So that's that. Like you said, that'd be interesting. So, and it was a comic auction that I heard about this week. The original cover art by Neil Adams for Green Lantern number 76, which is the one with Green Arrow shooting the arrow through the lantern.
Oh, okay.
Which kicked off the Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams run that's been universally accepted as
Green Lantern,
like
Green
one of the best series or runs in any comics, and actually was the kickoff to the Bronze Age of comics, because it was a step into more realism and less fanciful kind of stuff going on. They were actually taking on real issues. That sold for it hasn't happened yet, I don't believe. The auction hasn't happened, but that piece is expected to bring in over $300,000.
Wow. So original cover art. So that's going to be one page, like a one big giant comic page with pens, inks, and pencils, inks, and perhaps color, I guess?
I would figure
we'll
so,
have to see.
Yeah. Wow. Also available is a near mint 9.6 copy of the Avengers #1.
Whoa.
I can't imagine a 9.6 copy. That's
unheard of.
Yeah, exactly.
That thing had to have been in a salt mine for years.
Also, a near mint 9.6 copy of Journey into Mystery number 83,
with the
first appearance of Thor,
famous cover.
And a page of original art from Amazing Spider-Man number 39 by John Romita Sr. and Mike Esposito, and the original cover art to Action Comics number 45 by Fred Ray.
Is that Superman's first appearance?
No, Action Comics 1 was Superman.
What is 45? Is
45, I don't know if that's a special one or whether it's just a really old one that they threw in there.
Well, Action 1 is 35, right? So number 45
Action Comics 45
would have been 4 or 5 years later, right? If they went out monthly.
So yeah. Well, yeah, there was a time it didn't.
This is
that's nice, the new one. I don't want that. There's usually there we go. The DC Comics.
Cool.
Yeah, it was 1942.
There it is.
Cover artist is Fred Ray. Jerry Siegel was a writer. Penciler was Leo Nowski.
It was the first appearance of somebody. Who is it?
Stuff the Chinatown Kid.
Hey.
Yeah, that's the thing. Key. Action Comics at the time had one Superman story and then
a bunch of others,
3 or 4 other stories in it.
Right, the anthology style was it's not around so much anymore.
Yeah. So it's not. It doesn't seem to be anything that was.
The villain was the head.
Nice. Nice.
Oh God.
See, it wasn't anything that was.
The Thunderbolt. I wonder if that's the real Thunderbolt. I bet it is. No, it's some other villain.
Okay. Earth 2 Thunderbolt. It's a little creepy looking dude. So it wasn't necessarily any like a special issue. It was just here's a really old piece of comic art.
Yeah, right. Which is
it's still a good deal.
From the 30s. So, yeah, that's great.
42 actually.
Oh, 42.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So that's all on Heritage Comics and Comic Art Auction.
Sweet.
I'm not sure exactly when it happes. I would have to look into that and see. Not that I'm buying anything, but
it's our third Kickstarter now.
There you go.
Money.
Yeah. We got a lot of stuff to raise money for. So.
We should drive to it in the Batmobile that we buy.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd drive everywhere. I'd drive every day in that Batmobile.
Where would you park without getting dented or clowned or something?
Dude, yeah, I'd have to beat somebody down if they dented that sucker.
You need the Batmobile that has the shield that comes up, like the Michael Keaton one.
Now you're talking.
A groovy shield.
Yeah. Now the big Star Wars crossover, Vader Down. They have released the covers of those. It's 3-part deal. There's Vader Down the series. Then it crosses over into Darth Vader and to Star Wars, those ongoing series.
Yes.
They will have Darth Vader #1, Vader Down #1, Darth Vader 13, and Star Wars 13 will have connecting covers with Clay Mann's art. And it looks awesome.
Cool. Is Clay Mann the guy who's been doing them all along?
I don't think so. I think it's separate groups on the. He's doing the Vader Down.
Okay.
but I don't think because it's been separate groups that are doing Star Wars and Darth Vader, I believe.
Okay. The art on all of it's been great.
It looks really, really good. And it comes out November 25th.
Nice.
I don't know if all three of them come out then, but Vader Down comes out November 5th.
Yeah, Vader 13 comes out 11/25.
Okay.
Vader Down. No, sorry, November 18th. Next 2 weeks.
2 weeks
from now.
Well, Vader Down comes out, and then
Darth Vader 13,
is
and Star Wars 13's 12/2.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So we haven't stretched out a little bit there, but
Jason Aaron's writing Star Wars, which is killing it.
It's good stuff. Great. Yeah, it's good stuff.
And he's doing Vader Down as well. He's writing that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And from Marvel Comics, their regular universe, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur will be coming out later in November. I think it's 2 weeks from this week. They released a synopsis for Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur #1. Lunella Lafayette is a preteen super genius who uncovers ancient Kree technology and opens a doorway to the prehistoric past and comes face to face with the Jurassic giant known as Devil Dinosaur. Also out of the portal come the Killer Folk, an ancient tribe of beings who will stop at nothing to acquire the Kree technology.
Telling you, it's that Kree technology, though.
Yep. There you go.
It's always good.
How do they know about? If they're ancient, how do they know about Kree technology?
Well, the Kree's real old, aren't they? Aren't they like several thousands years old?
I think so, yeah, because that's where the Inhumans came from. They seeded the
Kree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Kree DNA is what is included in humans, and that's what makes them inhuman.
Gotcha.
So, I believe. I may be completely wrong.
It's been a while since I read Kree Skrull War.
Yeah. But the Black Hood is something that I've talked about several times here. That's the I think Black Circle is the imprint of Archie Comics that does the more mature stuff.
This is the one that
and
dropped
the Black
the
Hood.
F-bomb?
Yes, Black Hood.
One?
Yeah, the first F-bomb in Archie Comics was in the Black Hood. The standalone Howard Chaykin issue, of course, was awesome. And that is like a bridge in between what the story arc that started and did the first 5 issues. First 6 issues. No, I take it back. The first 5 issues. The Howard Chaykin issue was number 6.
Okay.
So it's standalone. And then out on November 25th, issue 7 comes out.
Cool.
And that's going to start the new arc.
Nice.
And the Howard Chaykin issue was really good. The guy had, I've talked about how he's a hero cop, but he was disfigured, becoming the hero cop. He was disfigured.
Oh wow!
Then he gets hooked on painkillers and ends up. He has taken down a vigilante called the Black Hood, and he kept the hood.
Oh.
So at one point he decides he's going to go out and he's going to become the Black Hood.
And commit crimes or fight crime?
A little bit of both. I think he originally went out to get painkillers. He wanted more painkillers.
So I get it. Yeah.
But he ended up doing stuff as
somebody at the same time as trying to score.
But it was pretty dark stuff. And in the standalone issue, he's in rehab. And turns out one of the other people there is in hiding from the mob. They work for the mob, and they're afraid. And and they're afraid. The people she works for are afraid if she goes straight, she'll come clean and rat them out. So
sounds about right.
Yeah, she tells him they're sending somebody to kill me. You've got to help me.
Oh.
And this guy, who's also part of the group, is here to kill me. So he ends up killing him, and then he realizes he was the one. He was the one that worked for the mob. Because right before he kills him, he goes, "I knew they'd send somebody." And then he goes back to talk to the lady. I was like, "Dude, she just tricked you into killing somebody." It was crazy. It was nuts.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I heard somebody in Heroes talking about Black Hood, and I was like,
"It's really good."
Yeah.
It's really
Who puts it out again? It's Archie Comics.
I think the imprint is called Black Circle Comics.
Okay.
But it's imprint of Archie Comics.
Because nobody would buy it if it said Archie.
If it said Archie, there's no way. Yeah. If it had Archie's head on it, there's no way. Yeah, there's no way it would be all. But yeah, it's a really good series. And issue 7 comes out November 25th, and that'll be the start of a new arc. Greg, the main character, is back in Philly, and he has promised his best friend that his hood-wearing vigilante days are over. Unfortunately, that's a promise that he'll have to struggle to keep. So,
God.
So it would be a pretty boring comic series if he didn't put the hood back on.
That's true.
So
then, yep.
And the cover that they release, he almost kind of looks like Cobra Commander when he had the hood.
Oh, nice.
It's like really long. And
yeah.
So maybe he's getting a new hood. So
awesome. He starts yelling like, Archie.
Yeah. Now, some of the stuff that's coming out today, or not today, that we were originally going to do this.
Yeah.
We were going to do the show on Wednesday. So the stuff that came out this week. We time traveled. Yeah.
That's how we do it.
Drax #1 is out. Extraordinary X-Men #1 is also out. Justice League Darkseid War Superman. That's a long title right there.
Yeah, it's the jump over.
Yeah, Justice League Darkseid War Superman #1 is out. Darkseid War Flash #1 is out. Detective Comics 46, Green Arrow 46, Green Lantern 46, Amazing Spider-Man #3, Blade Undead by Night is the trade paperback that we were talking about a couple weeks ago that gathers some of his appearances from Tomb of Dracula together.
Oh, cool.
So that is out now. Deadpool #1 is out. Uncanny X-Men #600 is out. Vision #1 is out. Spider-Gwen #0 is out. Star Wars 11, Doctor Strange #2, Extraordinary X-Men #1, Hercules #1, Howard the Duck #1, Invincible Iron Man 3, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Nova #1, and Paper Girls #2. Which we had talked about that because they had an event at Heroes that included Paper Girls. I read the first one; it was pretty good.
Cool.
It was almost like that. The movie 8mm. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, it was a dark movie.
No, wait a minute. Oh, it's not. No, it's not that one. Then it was a bunch of kids that were shooting.
Super 8.
Super 8. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
8mm alien.
Was 8mm. That was Nicolas Cage. That was
about like a
snuff film. Yeah.
You got real dark.
That's a whole different thing.
Danzig. The Danzig.
Yeah. They the kids found basically they found an alien and they were shooting with this Super 8 that they were doing.
Right.
And same kind of thing. They're paper girls. They're having problems with bullies that are like messing with them. Then all of a sudden they find some aliens. So it's kind of a switch. But you get almost the Kirby-esque kid gang kind of thing going on.
Cool.
So it has a good feel to it. It was a fun book. So
nice.
I'm looking forward to reading #2.
Yeah, Cliff Chang was who came down to Heroes.
To Heroes, yeah.
Yeah, when they did the Spider-Gwen, Paper Girls, and Scotty Young.
Okay, cool. I Hate Fairyland.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. So that's a spin of our comic rack. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have our showcase on Marv Wolfman.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper car, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Like you angry? Dr. Banner, we need you angry.
Smash!
That'll do. The Ninja Troll Digicast. The only podcast with a kick.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast. And we're going to take a look at now at some of the upcoming stuff that's going on in the area around the mothership of Charlotte, North Carolina.
The tri-state area.
The tri-state
wherever
area.
you live, it's always tri-state area. Actually, we're the bi-state area, right? I guess with North Carolina, South Carolina. So coming up tomorrow, Timmy D, we've got the Morganton Comic-Con in Morganton, NC. That should be a really fun event.
I wanted to try to make that. I can't, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a little bit north here of Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's the first one.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting. An offshoot of, I guess, the success of CatsyCon, which we went to
probably,
not too long ago. November 13th to the 15th in Durham, NC, we have NC Comic-Con. Right?
That's a big one.
The biggie going on at the Durham Convention Center. And then coming up in on December 6th, something that you and I will be at, is going to be the Charlotte Comic-Con and Toy Show at the Crowne Plaza Charlotte Executive Park Hotel.
That's always a lot of fun. So
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We'll love that one.
Yeah.
And then on the 19th of December to the 20th in Lumberton, North Carolina, at Biggs Park Mall, we have the Lumberton Comic Book and Toy Show.
Cool.
Going on. And then just after the holidays, we have the Raleigh Comic Book Show in Raleigh, NC on December 27th. That's at the Raleigh Marriott Crabtree Valley Hotel.
Only a couple days after Christmas. What day is Christmas on this year?
You're asking me?
Oh, yeah. What do you want from me?
What do you want from me?
Okay, so that's a Sunday. Christmas is on Friday. So.
Okay.
Does
Christmas change every year? I never knew that.
It's the 25th. It could be a different day of the week.
He's Jesus. He can do whatever he wants.
That's true.
That's right.
That's what he does.
That's right. Play his music on Halloween. And then last, we'll bookend here because we're going into the new year. On January 30th at the Grady Cole Center here in Charlotte is Charlotte MiniCon.
That one's going to be a big deal.
Which we'll be at.
Yeah, we'll be at that one as well. So, yeah, that one's going to be a lot of fun. It's called MiniCon, but it's huge. It's
Medicon, we said.
Yeah,
it
fills Grady Cole without problems.
Yes, no problem.
So,
yeah.
All right. But that's a look at the coming up events that are coming up around here in this area, or the expanded area.
Yes, the bi-state region.
The bi-state region, yeah, exactly. All right, now it's time for our showcase segment.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ninja Troll Digicast proudly presents The Showcase.
All right, this is our showcase segment where we shine a spotlight on any different subject that we would like to have more information on. These last couple of weeks since we've been doing our Exploring the Multiverse segment on Crisis on Infinite Earth, these are all Crisis themed. Last week we had the artist for Crisis, George Perez. Now, this week is the writer, Marv Wolfman.
So we reversed the name order on every comic book.
Exactly.
We're not biased.
Yes. Marv Wolfman was born in May of 1946 in Brooklyn and moved to Flushing, Queens when he was 13.
Ooh.
He went to New York's High School of Art and Design, hoping to become a cartoonist. And as a teenager, he was friends with Len Wein. I never realized that.
Wow.
They were friends from way back. And
he
actually,
was a DC editor?
He was DC and Marvel both. He was co-creator of the Swamp Thing, co-creator of Wolverine.
Whoa.
So yeah, the two of them growing up together and ending up wanting to get into comics and ending up having both of them having such a huge career.
I wonder if he said,
crazy.
Hey, I have this friend who, like, if he had claws, he'd be like a real wolfman. And his name is Wolfman. I call him Marv.
Yeah. Hey, Marv.
Hey,
Wolfman was actually active in fandom and ran his own fan magazine.
Really?
And was one of the first people to publish Stephen King.
What?
In his was
he a
horror?
publisher?
Well, he was running his own fanzine.
Oh.
And Stephen King, he sent in a story in a half world of terror. Wolfman printed that in his horror fanzine, Stories of Suspense #2 in 1965. It was one of the
That's awesome.
first instances of Stephen King being published.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a weird little tidbit that you have there, like a little footnote.
They were like all friends, it seems. Yeah. It's like they all went in their own direction.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wolfman's first work in the comics industry was in Black Hawk 242 in 1968.
Wow. Golden Age character.
Yeah. Later that year, he and longtime friend Len Wein created the character Johnny Double in Showcase number 78 and co-wrote Eye of the Beholder in Teen Titans number 18. This was the original Teen Titans series.
Oh, because he did New
Yes, he
Later
did the
on.
new. Later on he did the new Teen Titans, but that was some of his first work. Was him and Len Wein writing Titans scripts and submitting them. They finally got that one.
Cool.
Called Eye of the Beholder to go through, and it was in Teen Titans number 18. And it introduced the Soviet superhero that later would be known as Red Star. That's what he's known as now. But when they originally introduced him, his name was Starfire.
Oh, glad they retconned that.
Exactly. Actually, you see him in Crisis.
Oh.
And Starfire talks to him, and they call him Starfire. So they didn't retcon. They hadn't retconned it yet, as far as when they got to Crisis.
Gotcha.
But they originally, they did change it to Red Star, which makes more sense for a Soviet superhero.
I'd say so.
Yeah. The two also, Len Wein and Marv Wolfman, also wrote a Teen Titans story titled "Titans Fit the Battle of Jericho," which would have introduced DC Comics' first African American superhero, but it was rejected by publisher Carmine Infantino and was rewritten and redrawn by Neil Adams.
Wow.
I don't know why he rejected it.
Yeah.
I don't think it would necessarily be because it was an African American hero, but their script was that was rejected, and Neil Adams had to come in and basically just scramble one out right quick. And get that out. So
shady. That sounds like.
As a teenager, Wolfman had read the Teen Titans stories, and something always bothered him. You had Robin, you had Speedy, you had Kid Flash, and Aqualad. They were all young sidekicks of DC's main superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
The original version of Wonder Girl was actually a younger version
of Wonder
Woman from different stories.
Wow.
There was no sidekick.
Yeah.
She was in different stories. They saw Diana Prince as younger, and she was called Wonder Girl. And then all of a sudden, bing, she's there with the Teen Titans as if she was a sidekick.
And what's her name, the Wonder Girl now?
The Wonder Girl now is Donna Troy.
Donna, right?
That was the thing. She originally wasn't a separate character. So Wolfman pitched the idea of writing an origin of a real Wonder Girl to editor Dick Giordano. This gave us the Donna Troy character that Wonder Woman had found in a burning building and had taken to Paradise Island and raised her as an adopted sister. The story was drawn by Gil Kane and appeared in Teen Titans number 22 in 1969. Huh. So that gave us that version of the character of Wonder Girl. Yeah. Working with Bernie Wrightson on Weird Mystery Tales number 1, they created the character of Destiny, which Neil Gaiman used in his Sandman series later.
Oh, right. Who is one of the Immortal, or the, what do they call them?
The
Unchanged or something?
It was something weird like that. It wasn't in Immortals. It was I think it was the Unchanged or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they created the character in Weird Mystery Tales number 1.
That sounds like a title I should pick up.
Yeah. Yeah. And he worked on a lot of that the mystery stuff like that.
Really?
Wolfman left DC and headed to Warren Magazines in, I think it was 71. He left, went to Warren Magazines and became the editor of Creepy, Eerie, and Vampirella.
Oh, yeah. Great.
So he did a lot of work there, yeah. He then moved to Marvel Comics later in 1972 as a protege to then editor Roy Thomas, eventually taking over as the editor of the Black and White magazines, then finally moving to the color line of comics. Wolfman said that Marvel never gave its full complement or commitment to the Black and White line. No one wanted to commit to the staff, he said. He formed the first production staff, hired the first layout people and paste up people, because what they didn't really care about them. They kind of looked at it as almost like a developmental, minor league.
Yeah.
Say, okay, here's Wolfman. Let's see what he can do over there.
Mm-hmm.
If he can do something, and most of the stuff was kind of shopped out to a different place, and whatever they pasted up, they pasted up.
Like, Wolfman, get me a cowboy still in 15 minutes.
Exactly, yeah. And they would just crank some stuff out. It didn't have.
I'm out of scotch in my office.
Yeah, so it didn't have to be good. It was just
what it
had to be done.
Yeah. Yikes.
He eventually stepped down as editor to spend more time writing, though. He took over writing chores on Tomb of Dracula with issue number 7, And in issue number 10, he and artist Gene Colan created Blade the Vampire Hunter in 1973.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that he created Blade. That's awesome.
In 1976, working on Daredevil, he and artist Bob Brown created Bullseye. Later that year,
Daredevil character.
Later that year, he and artist John Buscema created Nova, and he and Gil Kane adapted Edgar Rice Burroughs' Barsoom concepts into the comic series John Carter, Warlord of Mars. So he was the one that made John Carter into a comic.
That's awesome.
It's crazy, yeah. All this stuff I didn't know about him. Yeah. In 1978, he and artist Carmine Infantino launched the Spider-Woman series, where they redesigned the character and gave her a human identity of Jessica Drew. So that was when she got that. He took over Amazing Spider-Man from his friend Len Wein in 1978, and in his first issue had Peter Parker propose to Mary Jane, although he got turned down.
Yeah.
During his run on Amazing Spider-Man, he and Keith Pollard created the Black Cat in issue number 194.
Wow. So she's a later character, Black Cat. I thought she was much older.
Yeah.
To keep up with Canary, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also worked on the Howard the Duck syndicated newspaper comic strip, which I didn't even know existed.
I knew Spider-Man was in the newspaper.
Yeah, I didn't know they did a newspaper strip for Howard the Duck. And he worked on the Fantastic Four with John Byrne, where they introduced a new herald for Galactus, Terrax.
Oh.
I remember him, too.
Yeah.
Or wait a minute, was Terrax?
Yeah, Terrax was one of Galactus's...
but there was one that was a female. Was that Firehawk? He had a herald at one time that was it was
Terrax. He had the big beard. And then there was Fire Lord.
Fire Lord there.
And then Morg.
Morg.
Yeah, I guess is a later herald.
Yeah,
created by Marv Wolfman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And when he returned to DC in 1980, Len Wein was now an editor, and Wolfman talked to him about reviving the Teen Titans. They had done a second series like a few years before then, and it was not well receptive.
They worked on it, or
no? They did. No, DC had done a second Teen Titans series, and it didn't,
like a false start.
Yeah, it didn't go over very well.
Oh boy.
Wolfman already had ideas laid out, and he and Len Wein went to Jeanette Kahn, who was the publisher, to try to revive the title with him as writer and Wein as editor. Kahn hadn't been a fan of the short-lived second series, and basically flatly asked them why they would want to revive something that obviously no one cared about. They said simply, "We'll do it better."
Nice.
And she went, "Okay, go ahead."
Yeah, right. Sold.
And in an interview I read by him, he was like, "Why couldn't it be like that now?" It's like we went and said, "You know what? It wasn't the reason it wasn't well received is it wasn't done very well. We'll do it better."
Yeah.
And she said, "Okay." It was just 3 people in an
Trusted
office.
him. Yeah.
And we said we can do it, and she said, "Okay, go ahead and try."
No PowerPoint.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, yeah. So, when at the time he was also at Marvel. There's a lot of this I do these showcases, I find a lot of that. It was like, okay, he's working at DC and he's pitching this series, but he's still working at Marvel. So, and same kind of thing. One day he saw George Perez at Marvel, and he talked to him about it. And Perez wanted to do, and we talked about this last week, Perez wanted to work on the Justice League, but he saw the Titans as a way of beginning work at DC to get his foot in the door.
Yeah.
So the two of them started designing the characters, and Wolfman said that he started drawing stuff up and sent it to him, and he said his designs were perfect. He said he had like maybe 1 or 2 little tweaks that he wanted to do, but pretty much everything that Perez just came up with was right out of the box.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. What a magic team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. They knew the two of them and Len Wein also. They knew that they were going to do the best on the series, but they kind of assumed that it wouldn't last more than 6 issues, because for the past probably decade at DC, any new series hadn't lasted over 6.
Wow.
Like it would last about 6 issues and it would be canceled.
Oh.
So they were like, you know what, we're gonna do our best. We know we are, but we're not really expecting anything to.
Well, it's good
to
they
come
set
from
the expectations low.
I guess so. Yeah. The new Teen Titans featured the old team. The old teams: Robin, Wonder Girl, Kid Flash, Beast Boy from the Doom Patrol, renamed Changeling, plus the Wolfman Perez creations Raven, Starfire, and Cyborg. They were introduced in a special preview in DC Comics Presents number 26 in October 1980. When DC started advertising the Titans, they initially got quite a bit of hate mail, and Wolfman was saying it was like, people were, how can you change the Titans? How can you do this to my characters? And he said up until the point it came out, and everything just 180 degrees.
Because everybody loved it.
Everybody loved it. Yeah. And everything just went 180 degrees the other way.
So Beast Boy became Changeling, and he's Beast Boy again.
They kind of interchanged calling him that. Because I've seen
it too. Yeah, I'm like,
exactly.
Who is that? It's Beast Boy. That's
it's Beast
totally
Boy
Beast
or
Boy.
Changeling. Yeah, exactly. So it depends on. I think they spun it as, he's growing up, so he wants to change his name and not be Beast Boy.
Right.
He's Changeling now.
Yeah.
So it obviously definitely lasted longer than 6 issues and became DC's first new hit in years. It soon became DC's best-selling comic, outselling the next selling one by 2-1, and the rest of the line by 4-1.
That has to have been Justice League and Batman.
Nope.
What were they?
Legion was the next one. Legion of Superheroes was the next selling.
Seriously?
Next biggest selling one.
And this was what year again?
This 70? Was 80, 81, 82, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. The next best selling one was Legion of Superheroes, and it was outselling it 2-1, and everything else like 4-1.
Killer.
It's crazy.
Damn.
Also during this time at DC, Wolfman worked on Action Comics, a revival of Dial H for Hero, Night Force, which was a supernatural series, and a 2-year run on Green Lantern, all while he was doing Titans.
Damn.
While he was working on Green Lantern, they introduced the Omega Men in issue number 141. He also worked on Batman and co-created Electrocutioner in issue 331 of Batman.
Wow.
In 1985, Wolfman and Perez launched Crisis on Infinite Earths, celebrating the 50th anniversary of DC, and rewrote the history of the company to streamline it. After the relaunch, Wolfman worked on the relaunch of Superman, reinventing Lex Luthor. And in the 90s, Wolfman returned to the Dark Knight, working on both Batman and Detective Comics, writing the Batman Year 3 story, and introducing the third Robin, Tim Drake.
Awesome.
As well as Abattoir and a new version of the Electrocutioner, as well as an anniversary retelling of the original Batman story. I remember that issue. It was Detective 627, because 27 was the first appearance of Batman.
So
they did, I think, like 4 different retellings of the original story. Different writers and artists did different retellings of that story.
Detective Comics is still an anthology. Is it still today an anthology?
No, it's just
story.
Batman. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was for a long time. It was
an anthology.
Yeah, it was an anthology. Yeah. And I've lost my place. Sorry. Okay, he also worked at Disney, writing DuckTales and the Mickey Mouse Adventures, and acting as the editor of the comic section of the Disney Adventures magazine. In the late 90s, he developed the Transformers TV series Beast Machines on Fox Kids.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't so good.
And yeah. After taking close to a decade off from comics, Wolfman went back to Devil's Due Productions, the Aftermath line that they had, scripting Defects, which was their flagship title. Never heard of it.
Yeah, never heard of it.
He wrote an Infinite Crisis issue of DC's Secret Files and consulted with Jeff Johns on the Teen Titans after that. He also wrote a novel based on Crisis on Infinite Earths, but done as a new story starring Barry Allen that takes place during the Crisis.
What is this?
I know. I've never heard of this. I want to read that.
Yeah.
I need to see if I can run that down.
Flash goes away a lot and then comes back, and it's like, what happens to him?
That was like an untold part of the story.
Killer.
I want to read that.
Yeah, let's track that down.
I need to see if I can track that down. In 2006, Wolfman began writing DC's Nightwing series, starting with issue 125, going through 137. During this run, he created a new version of the Vigilante, which spun off into its own series that he wrote. He also penned a miniseries starring Raven, and in 2011, he and Perez completed the New Teen Titans Games graphic novel, which they had actually begun working on in the late 80s.
Cool.
They were able to finish it up and put it out.
Was that Raven miniseries you gave me? It had like 4 or 5 issues.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. It had like an anime art feel. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was interesting. I think that was his. Yeah. Cool. And a couple little tidbits I ran that kind of didn't really fit much of anywhere. In 1997, before the release of the Blade movie, Wolfman unsuccessfully sued Marvel to get the ownership of the characters.
Oh.
So it was another kind of
Kirby.
Back in the 90s when that was all bubbling. It was like, okay, he said I didn't sign a work for hire agreement there because they were freelance. So his thing was, I was a freelance. I didn't specifically work for you guys. So these characters that I created are mine. Didn't work, but
I know, it's hard.
And this is a story that I wasn't quite sure the specifics of this story, but I had heard this before, that he had a run-in with the Comics Code Authority because of his last name. And I found the story. Wolfman received DC Comics' first writing credit on its mystery magazines because in the interstitial pages between stories, they would have like a character that would kind of bridge the two, and that character, Jerry Conway, wrote those scripts. In one of those interstitials, he said the following story was told by, quote, a wandering wolfman. And the Comics Code Authority at the time did not permit the mention of wolfmen or werewolves or wolfmen at all, and demanded it be removed. Conway shot back and said Wolfman is the guy's name. So they said, okay, if you want to do that, you have to give him a credit so that it shows that Wolfman is a real man.
Wow.
So
how did they credit him?
They had to put the writer Marv Wolfman.
Oh.
And he got it. So everybody else went, hey, I want it.
Yeah.
So everybody else, like very soon, credits were given to everybody.
Wow.
So that, like I said, I'd heard, vaguely remembered hearing that story that he had some kind of run-in with the Comics Code Authority because of his last name.
Coolest comic book name.
Yeah.
I mean, like maybe CM Punk is cooler. But that's a really cool story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was fun to finally run down that story and actually get the real story behind it. Because I like I said, I'd heard, and that was one of those things that, like, with the Comics Code Authority, we did that showcase on basically what they'd come up with, and they were so tyrannical with everything. So I always thought that was kind of a funny instance of that. Yeah, they wouldn't even let a guy use his own name because he was Wolfman.
Yeah, right. So, good thing his name wasn't like Lipschitz or something.
Yeah, exactly.
He would have been done.
So they had to. It was fun to actually finally find that story and get the whole deal.
Way to go,
and it also became like a little footnote. It's like, he had to get a writing credit to clear that,
and then it just
it got everybody got writing credits.
That's awesome.
So that was cool. So that is our showcase on Marv Wolfman. And we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have our Exploring the Multiverse segment on the second part of the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast, or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
So, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them. But I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Hi, my name is Sanford Green, illustrator and artist for Marvel Comics, artist on Deadpool and The Incredible Hulk, X-Men, and you're listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast podcast. No. I'm looking at the. Sorry.
Just start out. You're listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Digicast. And don't forget Shaft.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Hey, this is Sanford Green, artist over at Marvel Comics, illustrator on Deadpool, and cover artist for Shaft, and you're listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Now that we got Sanford to get our name right, we're all good to go now. So, and it's time now for our Explore the Multiverse segment. We've been doing this for many weeks now. We've been traveling through all the different instances of the multiverse throughout DC Comics. We've now arrived at the Crisis on Infinite Earths, the end-all, be-all of Crisis stories.
Of be-alls.
Of be-alls, yeah. And now last week we did the first 3 issues of Crisis.
That's
now
right.
It's time for 4, 5, and 6 on our Explore the Multiverse segment.
Now it's time to explore the multiverse. On the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, this segment of the Crisis on Infinite Earth starts out with a bang.
It's really sad.
The cover of number 4 features the death of the Monitor.
And if we remember in issue 3, the very last panel, Harbinger sort of powers up with the influence of the evil entity that we're seeing lurking, and she blasts him with a super shot of
something.
Super shotness.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what that is. But
and Pariah's there, and of course he's doing what he does best is
cry.
Yeah, he's just pretty much cry. So
cries all the time.
Yeah. But we're thrust into a new scenario now, as Supergirl joins a despondent Batgirl on the top of a city building on Earth 1, trying to encourage her before she is called to rescue a plane that falls apart approaching the antimatter wave. Pariah arrives on Earth 6, where he confronts the royal superhero family of Lord Volt, Lady Quark, and Princess Fern.
And
so we
Susan
got a
Powder.
new Earth. Yeah. As the antimatter wave is there, right? So we know that Harbinger's curse is that he is sent to sort of jump into every instance where the antimatter wave is about to consume Earth.
Basically, he's cursed to experience every the most horrible disaster that's going on at that time.
Yes.
And so now he's being drugged to this because this is the end all, like the entire worlds are going away.
That's it.
So he has to experience every tragedy. That's his curse. He's drawn to every tragedy. So, and he's bounced around to all these different Earths that are being consumed.
And what's great is we're going to learn why in this block of stuff, which is really cool. And it gets back to our discussion about sort of the origin of the multiverse, which is really cool. So as the world is being consumed, Lord Volt tries to touch Pariah, which results in his power sort of flying back on him, and then that world's just pretty much consumed. But Lady Quark, Pariah grabs her and holds her, and then I guess that is a way that he can take people into...
He can transport people out of there.
Into back to wherever he's going. I guess it's a quantum leap.
So she wants to die with the rest of her family.
Who's gone.
Yeah, it's gone, yeah.
Yeah, you see Lord Volt get consumed, and it's crazy. So Pariah saves her life, right? So Lady Quark is really important. Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice, no, I'm just kidding. The Monitor prepares to create a new hero to help him in his quest, and we talked about this last time. It's going to be the new Dr. Light.
Mm-hmm.
So by firing an ion-based energy ray into an unstable star in the vegan system, depending on how you roll, in the Earth 1 universe.
Depends on what you eat.
It depends, totally. I wonder what vegan diet is like. He causes a powerful flare of solar energy to travel to the Earth. It reaches the observatory of Dr. Kimio Hoshi, who, just before this happens, calls all of her staff cowards and
imbeciles.
fools.
I mean, she is not a nice person.
Well, they're all scared because the world's going to end. And she's like, we must continue the science, no matter what.
Cowards, leave me. Yeah, she's not nice at all.
No, and she sits down to the telescope.
Wasn't it her dad?
Yeah, and he's like, Kimio, you must be, these men are scared. You must be calm or whatever. And she's like, shut up, Dad. You're not helping.
Screw you. Get out.
in a respectful Japanese way.
No, not at all.
No, not at all. Yeah, this is DC Comics, damn it. So she screams as the flare strikes her that the monitor has sent, and then mysteriously transports her out of the lab, leaving her fellow workers and her father wondering what has happened to her. So she gets taken away. Now, in a dark place where the psycho-pirate is taken prisoner, the shadowy figure, who we're going to find out soon who that is, watches on the screen the red tornado in action, and then uses his powers to teleport the red tornado into that, basically the antimatter universe. That's where they are right now.
Yeah.
So now the red tornado has been brought in as a second puppet, if you will. But red tornado's good, so we're going to have to see how that unfolds.
Well, I think he wants his powers.
Yeah.
Is what, or because he's a android who wants to be human, maybe. I forget now exactly what it was.
Probably play on his weakness, the shadowy figure, and I mean, just like Psycho Pirate, he has no choice.
Yeah.
But Red Tornado's a little more strong-willed, so I think we'll see how that goes. This is a cool part. On Earth 2 now, in the time of Camelot, Firestorm and Killer Frost, still under the love thralls of Psycho Pirate, get help from Shining Knight, right? Who we've seen in the Seven Soldiers of Victory story.
And we also see Vandal Savage.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Who's a baddie? Yeah. Protect the cosmic tuning fork planted there in that time period as Vandal Savage watches from a window. The three heroes engage the shadow demons in battle, which is the reoccurring theme with the tuning forks. But it is all for naught as they merge and form a giant shadow demon. So we got a little, we got a little Voltron and Power Ranger action going here. This also happens in the other time periods that the cosmic tuning forks and the shadow demons appear. So it's a reoccurring. Meanwhile, in the present time on Earth 1 in Metropolis, the superheroes see yet another cosmic tuning fork appear, though this time with a female in a costume similar to that of Dr. Light. She tries to warn the heroes approaching her to stay away from the tower and blasts them away with a burst of light. So what's cool is in the Flash TV show, it's this Dr. Light. It's Kimio, but it's not really her. It's not Kimio Hayoshi. It's
Linda Park.
It's Linda Park. Yeah. So, and it's Kimio Hoshi. Forgive me.
Yeah. Did you notice the DC billboard?
No. Oh, on top of the thing.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
When the tuning fork shows up in Earth 1, there's a DC Comics billboard thrown into the city.
Maybe they're saying that's the office.
It might be. Yeah.
It's like right on the office. Yeah, it would grow out of the top of that office, I suppose. Yeah.
But even then, Dr. Light's not being nice. I mean, she's like calling them cretins and telling them to stay back, screaming at them in Japanese, and nobody understands.
Exactly. That's the thing is that, like, I guess greater than, less than signs in comic book lettering means another foreign language.
Another foreign language, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
which is an interesting syntax.
Yeah.
But luckily, Katana is with the group, and she is a Japanese speaker. So she understands, and she realizes that Dr. Light is not their enemy, but an ally. And Superman, who is able to also conversate in Japanese, tells Dr.
Superman.
Light, he is, apparently, that he knows the situation they are in, and they only want to help. All right, so it's like, all right, we can work this out. Meanwhile, as the monitor on board his satellite watches the heroes valiantly but vainly try to protect the cosmic tuning forks, Pariah emerges to find that the monitor was expecting him. Okay, so the ending of the previous issue is now where it picks up in the story here.
Yeah.
So we saw some like meanwhile stuff going on there.
Well, you also got Paradise Island.
That's right. Yeah. I did mention the Paradise Island. It's Hippolyta.
Yeah, Hippolyta is her and Diana are having issues. Basically, they don't agree, and Diana's trying to convince her that they need to do something
about the end. And this is Earth 1, Paradise Island.
Yes.
Yeah. And Wonder Woman's going to come back obviously later. There's going to be a really interesting point once we get into counterparts. It's going to be a really fun.
Yeah.
Sort of mind boggle, if you will. That'll be pretzel day. All right. So Pariah emerges, and then the monitor says, "I've been expecting you. So have a seat.
Of course.
Yeah, take your coat off. Don't cry." And he reveals to Pariah, this is really cool, that he was responsible for his survival and basically like what has gone on. So Pariah did something that now he's been cursed for forever to, like we said, to see the catastrophic end of all these worlds. And that when he really should have died for his deeds, and if you flip to the next scene, we get the ultimate, one of the great George Perez spreads, where he's telling him all these different sort of stories, like recounting all of the deaths and things that he's seen, and then you have the two faces of a sort of very like kind of brooding, looking down monitor, full cornrows, and then like alien cornrows.
Yeah.
And then you have Pariah on the other side in the, I guess what you'd call crisis face. I mean, that
crisis face. Yeah, that's good.
That's in every issue. There's somebody like,
like, what are we gonna do, man?
But I had to just remark that this is one of the ultimate Perez spreads.
Oh yeah.
Because if you look, I mean, it's a sort of what is it, 5-against-5 spread with two faces, and then in the margins you have the dialogue, and then you've got the tuning forks split. And then in the center, in the gutter, right, of the 2 pages, you have all the Earths with like the wave of antimatter crashing through them all, which is the sort of illustration for all this, which is pretty cool. But before he could say anything, now this is where we see his the hole in his chest get actually shot into him. Yeah. Harbinger appears, and she's kind of sassy. She's like, "You're too late, old man."
Yeah. She's got like black eyes, so obviously she's been taken over by the shadowy figure.
Yeah, she's been seized by the dead. The Necronomicon has might be a different mythos. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's obviously possessed by the dark figure, and then she just releases a blast that just knocks him down. Like this is sort of Empire Strikes Back style.
Yeah. Balls.
Yeah, pretty bad. And or maybe it was more Return of the Jedi with the Emperor, perhaps. Until he finally lands on a platform, and then Pariah is mourning now. Here he goes. He cries as he realizes that with the death of the Monitor, really came. That's it. There's nothing we can do. So he's thinking, we're just done. We're just done. And this is really cool because at that moment, the heroes of both Earths 1 and 2 can only watch as their worlds are consumed by antimatter, fading into nothingness. And this is really like the super awesome fade, the sort of reduction in detail and color going. And then look at the last page. It's like, it's beautiful. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful sequences I think I've seen.
It goes from white to smoke and darkens as it goes until it's nothing but black.
Everything is gone.
Genius.
Everything's gone.
George Perez is using something like that to tell that story is just.
It's so cinematic.
Yep.
It's like it's just a perfect amount. Like it just ends. It's like that quiet moment at the end of something really awful.
Yeah.
And sad. You know, it's just you got to be with yourself.
To be continued, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because that was Earth 2 and Earth 1. That's
it.
They're our main
hero planets.
Yeah.
I mean, Earth 3, like, I'm a man, Ultraman, but like, that's fine.
Yeah, everything's gone. So yeah.
Oh man, R.I.P. Earth 1 and 2.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
But that was the end of
issue 4. And then we get into issue 5 now. And meanwhile, in the antimatter universe, a dark, malevolent force addresses his new playthings, Psycho Pirate, the Flash, and Red Tornado. He has Psycho Pirate use his emotion-controlling abilities to keep the Flash in line, while also promising that he will soon have his own worlds to rule. So now Psycho Pirate's like starting to get like a, I don't know what you call it, sort of a sidekick and ambitions where he's starting to want things.
Yeah. He's starting to kind of uppity going, hey, wait a minute, you promised me this and you promised me this.
He's like, you don't pay me enough.
That's right.
To be this psycho of a pirate. And then, meanwhile, on the Monitor satellite, Harbinger regains control of her mind finally and sort of realigns and realizes what she's done. She's just killed the Monitor, right? Her basically her father, if you call it that, right? Because the Monitor raised her.
Yeah, he raised her. Yeah.
Pariah's there, right? He's bawling like crazy, of course, and
yeah.
Oh my god! And tries to get some answers from her, but Harbinger has no memory of this, so she was really, really possessed. And then suddenly, a little view screen activates, and a pre-recorded message from the Monitor comes on and addresses both of them. Well, this guy's good. That's real good.
He knows all.
Okay. Yeah. I'm imagining him like standing in front of a fire in a bear rug and being like, "If you're getting this, I'm dead." And so he tells them that he's sort of known that his eventual demise at the Harbinger's hands were to come, and he bears no ill will. Okay. So to safeguard the remaining universes, he turned his body into an energy conduit. Upon his death, the Monitor's life essence shunted Earth 1 and Earth 2 into a nether world.
Mm-hmm.
What's now created something is called a netherverse.
It's a misty borderland is what it is.
So keeping them safe from his adversary's attack, who we'll find out who that is, at least for now. However, in the haste to save them, all time has become one. And now Alexander Luthor enters the chamber and here's the last of the Monitor's
shiny
speech.
gold suit.
Oh man, he's
styling, man.
He really is. He's got the glow. He's got the glow. Meanwhile, on Earth 1, varying timelines. So Earth, we're still around. Yep. This is cool. Varying timelines begin to intermingle with one another, which has happened before. We've seen where craziness even in this story.
What was it? The Anthro, the
first boy
with the serpent noses, the woolly mammoths that kind of went into the Legion's 30th century.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he saw the city for a second, the Legion city, and then I guess Metropolis of that time.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see. So dinosaurs and World War I era biplanes exist side by side with modern day Metropolis skyscrapers and strange vessels from the far-flung future. Yeah. Farful. Amazingly, Earth's populace remains relatively calm, another side effect of the Monitor's influence. Back on the Monitor's satellite, Alex, Pariah, and Harbinger summon together a massive congregation of heroes from Earth 1 and Earth 2, and we get, boom, here, which is the second large spread of heroes. Right?
It's not the big one yet,
nope.
But this one's like the medium-sized one.
Yeah, and who do we got in there? We got some goodies.
We got the Metal Men, Plastic Man, and Elongated Man, both.
Yep, there's Swamp Thing.
Yep, Swamp Thing.
All the Easy Company and the
Nuklon and
the Losers.
Infinity Incorporated. I had forgotten about that character. He was in the Titans. His name Block.
The Titans are there.
The Hawks, Dr. Midnight,
All-Star Squadron,
Phantom Lady,
JSA,
Perdegaton. There he is.
Yeah.
And the Western heroes. I can't remember what they're.
I'm sure. Yeah.
There's a Batman. I think there's another one around here somewhere.
Yeah.
Black Lightning.
Both Superman. So this is Earth 1.
Yeah.
Right? Or no, this is Earth 1.
No.
Is it a mix?
No, this is I don't know now. I think it's just a mix. There's Aquaman, Metamorpho,
Solomon
Grundy. He's mad. Look at him.
He's mad. Why? There's Jay Garrick, Starfighter.
Yeah.
There's all the Teen Titans on this side. I guess they're broken up into two sections here.
There's Wonder Woman.
Dawn Star and Superman.
Yeah.
Again. Batgirl. That Black Canary right there? The blonde hair?
Yeah. Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah,
we got everybody.
Yeah.
We even have Linda Lee, Superwoman.
There's Donna Troy. So she's
Girl.
over here, but the rest of the Titans are over here.
Yeah.
So.
And there's another Wonder Woman.
So it's all mixed up. So.
Is this the old Robin suit, the weird one?
That's the Earth 2 Robin.
Ah,
yep.
Nice.
The Earth 2 Robin.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so we got a
good
amount of people here.
We got a lot. Yeah. And then Shining Knight, don't forget him.
Right, and Harbinger
flying around on his Pegasus.
And then Pariah and Alex, which are our main folks.
Yeah.
Cool. So now they're going to explain the present situation, but also explain that in order for things to correct themselves, the multiverse must be folded back upon itself and become a single universe once again, or else all worlds will be destroyed. So on Earth 1, other heroes continue to help out amidst the confusion. Batman invites a group of heroes and villains into the Batcave for consultation.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is always
just happen.
A good time. Starfire and the Legionnaire Sunboy fly to Russia to help Red Star,
Yep.
right, or Starfire, the other one, tackle a dinosaur. Right?
Yeah, I
think dinosaurs
in
Russia.
I think they did. No, she says Red Star. Okay, yeah. So Red Star, let me help you. Okay.
All right, so they may have already.
They have already
made the
retconned
change.
it at that point. Yeah.
If they were doing this much change, I'm sure they were like, "That's going to be a problem."
Yeah.
Members of the Green Lantern Corps fly to Oa to seek aid from the Guardians of the Universe, but the Guardians are swept up in an unforeseen attack. Rip Hunter and the Time Masters try to solve the mystery of the interconnecting timelines. And then Wildcat saves a little girl from crumbling debris, but his legs are crushed in the process.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty messed up.
This is another big change here.
Yeah.
Right? Because the original Wildcat was who?
Ted Grant.
Ted Grant. Is this Ted Grant who's there right now?
That gets his legs broken, yes.
Yeah.
And that's when they introduced the second Wildcat.
Who's a Montoya?
Yolanda Montez, I think.
Yes.
Is her name?
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah, I think that's going to come up. Hang on one second.
Yeah, she has powers, but she never told him that.
Is it like the same cat fighting powers that they have, or what is?
Well, he didn't have powers. He was just a fighter. Yeah, he was just a fighter.
Poor guy.
But yeah, she has some type of power that she has never told him about. But yeah, she at this spot, yeah, she just watched him get hurt.
Get hurt bad. Yeah, he's done. All right. So meanwhile, in the antimatter universe now, the unseen enemy takes control of the Red Tornado and reconstructs him to do his bidding. So apparently he hooks him up with like better Wi-Fi.
Cool.
And he turns him into a force of primal energy and sets him upon the Earth. As the Red Tornado storms across the country, does it say which Earth it is?
I think now they're combined.
Oh, okay.
They got jammed. That he could only like bring them in the. No, they are separate. That's right. They're separate, but they're starting to
vibrate.
They're vibrating, and it's getting closer, and they're starting to come over. I don't know which it was.
Okay.
That he went on.
Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so he storms across the country. Earth 1 and Earth 2 begin to slowly merge together. People see ghost-like astral images of people from the parallel worlds. So as that's going on, is really excited. And now we're back in the antimatter universe again. The Flash overcomes Psycho Pirate's control and demands to see the face of the being who's abducted him. The enemy steps forward. It introduces himself as the Monitor. He says, "Call me the Monitor." This Monitor, however, is not the same as the one who just died. Unlike the more human-looking Monitor, this one is a gruesome alien with blazing red eyes and jaundiced yellow skin.
But he's got techno cornrows.
Yeah, he does.
Whereas the Monitor had actual cornrows. He's got like
electronic
things on
ones.
things on his helmet that look
man.
like cornrows.
That's the Wi-Fi, I'm telling you.
Yeah. That's what gives him the good Wi-Fi.
So it's really interesting. I found out this really neat tidbit about this issue. So if you go to page 14, panel 5 of this previous issue, standing behind Superman and Lois Lane. Yep, right there. See that guy with the camera?
The red shirt and the camera?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy right here.
Oh, that guy. Okay. Yeah.
That's Peter Parker.
Shut up.
He got drawn in. Yep.
That is cool.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah. And then
that's funny.
One other one is a cool reference. When they're talking about the Legion of Superheroes, the 30th century alien tourist Grix states that he hails from the planet Ceti Alpha 6.
I missed that.
Which was
I remember seeing the guy.
So it's obviously the planet we were talking about before, Botany Bay.
This is Ceti Alpha 5
from Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan.
Yeah. I gotta find that now, because I remember seeing the guy. Because he was a tourist there visiting Metropolis when everything's starting to crash together.
What a time!
Yeah, there he is.
Yep, there he is. Ceti Alpha 6.
Yep, yeah. There it is.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So that concludes issue 5, and then we've got our third here, which is issue 6. So let's get to that cover.
Yep.
There it is.
That's
like the super anti-monitor cover, right? He's real scary looking. 3 Earths, 3 deaths. In his lair, the anti-monitor stands over the Flash, who has begun to recover from the Psycho Pirate's spell of fear. The villain declares that when the Monitor's remaining energy fades, which now protects Earth 1 and 2, the ultimate power will be his. As promised, he imbues the pirate with enough power to control the emotions of the people on 3 Earths.
Be careful what you wish for, because he can't really take it.
That's a little too much. So this will counter the Monitor's plan to save those worlds with the aid of super beings from Earth 1 and Earth 2. So the Monitor's like set in of calm that he put is being broken now by Psycho Pirate. So back on the satellite, the heroes are trying to save themselves while their shelter falls apart. Pariah disappears, now drawn into a new disaster. Alex hooks himself to one of the machines to draw Earth's 4, S, and X into the Monitor's netherverse. So now we're really seeing the power of Alexander Luthor Jr.
Yeah.
Harbinger knocks him unconscious to prevent his sacrifice. Then she enters the power well at the center of the satellite, moments before the satellite blows apart. So in doing this, she realizes it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's see here. On Earth 2, the Atom carries the now crippled Wildcat to a bed in an apartment. Wildcat, in pain from his shattered legs, moans that he was useless before. Now he is helpless. Atom replies that Ted Grant gave Al Pratt lots of inspiration, not only by being a champion prizefighter, but by struggling to live in a hard and cruel world. He urges Wildcat not to let Al Pratt or himself down. And then outside, clinging to the windowsill, is Yolanda Montez. She mourns for Ted, vowing that the new Wildcat will live on in his honor. On Earth 1 now, Lex Luthor, fleeing from Superman, is transported to Brainiac's ship. So Brainiac was like set to come long ago, and he says, "I must find my friend Luthor."
But he didn't recognize him.
No, right.
Luthor didn't recognize him because he's like redone his body.
Because he's not the green-skinned person anymore. He's the metallic chrome dude from like what was that movie? Like Logan's Run.
Yeah.
Luthor is surprised, never having seen Brainiac in his robotic form. The living computer reveals a plan to make them rulers of the universe. All right, so he's like a big disco ball with lots of RAM. Okay, now, cool, we're on Earth X. Steel, Northwind, Dr. Light, Starfire, and Hawkman of Earth 2 are suddenly teleported to a rooftop near where the antimatter is devastating the city. Then they see a giant figure of Harbinger within the curtain of the antimatter. On the street below, they see a crowd of humans running directly for the curtain. Northwind streaks down, but is blasted by the Ray, who reveals himself, along with the other freedom fighters. Hawkman goes to Northwind's aid, but is pummeled by the Black Condor, who, like his fellows, is entranced into thinking that the costumed newcomers are foes. Dr. Light stops the people from reaching the curtain by erecting a barricade of light energy before the Ray blasts her. She is caught safely by Hawkman. In the antimatter universe, the anti-monitor, Psycho Pirate controlling the emotions of the populations of Earth's X, S, and 4, right? So X is Quality Comics, S is Fawcett Comics, and 4 is Charlton Comics.
Yeah.
Which is where Blue Beetle is from.
There was one interesting thing here.
Yeah.
That Hawkman says the freedom fighters, they're killing Norda. My God, I can't let my son die. But I know the freedom fighters. They were all originally from Earth 2.
Right.
But they weren't. They were from X.
This was the Okay, so this is where now they we had spoken about this, that like the freedom fighters had a retcon thing where they went to Earth X, were transported there somehow, but were originally from Earth 2.
Okay.
So I guess the new lore is that they disappeared.
Yeah.
So they were heroes and then went somewhere.
Okay.
But there's enough people on Earth 2.
Yeah.
Between the All-Star Squad and the
plenty,
JSA.
Yeah. There's plenty.
You're like, oh, that's right. Those guys were there.
Yeah.
Cool. I wonder what they're up to.
Yeah. Whatever happened to them?
Let's look at Behind the Hero on VH1. But now Psycho Pirate begs his master to let him stop, as the strain of all the emotions are killing him.
Yeah, he can't take it.
Yeah. However, the Monitor replies that once he had yearned for a world to mold, and now he has 3. So he's like, you get what you wish for, and that's it.
Yep. See?
On Earth 4, Azrael, Flash of Earth 2, Block, Katana, and John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, materialize before an antimatter curtain in the American Midwest. So there's nobody around. No, I'm just kidding. They too see Harbinger's image amidst the antimatter and overhead. is the descending bug ship of the Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Azrael is blasted to the ground by an entranced Captain Adam, who's here now.
Yeah.
Wow, he looks much different.
He's cranked up. That was the Charlton look. That's what he looked like in Charlton comics.
Before he became like glowing white.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
With gloves and shorts.
Yep.
Good times. Yeah. Peacemaker and Nightshade appear nearby. Katana is thrown for a loss in her first encounter with Judo Master.
Peacemaker has the weirdest huge helmet.
Yeah.
I've never understood that.
He's not making much peace there. He looks like Roger Wilco from Space Quest with the without the helmet.
Yeah.
He really does. It's a weird helmet. Yeah. You make peace because all your enemies laugh at you for being an idiot for that helmet. So Judo Master is displaced from his own era of World War II. The Blue Beetle and the Question realize that they are being forced to attack the heroes, but know that they are helpless to do anything about it. On the merging Earths 1 and 2, the Atlantis of Arian's time, right, which is way back when, now exists above the waves, while the underwater Atlantean cities of Tritonus and Poseidonus have been transplanted to a future Earth. Lori Lamaris, Aquaman, Aqualad, and Aquagirl are unable to locate their homes. Aquaman takes off on a tangent, searching for Mira. Mira's his wife?
Yes.
Okay. His movements are observed by the evil Ocean Master, Black Manta, and Dolphin, who sees the two villains disappear. Now we're transplanted to Shazam, to Earth S, where Black Canary watches Changeling, Beast Boy, in elephant form, being thrown through a wall. Hey, dude, that's wrong. Sorry, it's my Teen Titans going. While Supergirl flies down from above. The three Earth 1 heroes are then attacked by Captain Marvel, who has been manipulated into fighting them. This always happens. They always do this to Captain Marvel.
Well, he's
strong.
Captain Whitebread.
Yeah, and he'll take down Superman, right? If he
really
wanted to.
Yep.
Yeah, strong. Supergirl holds him off and tries to reason with him, but the world's mightiest mortal will not listen and nearly buries them by knocking down a building. Black Canary deduces that the psychopirate of her mother's Earth must be controlling Captain Marvel. All right, so this is Earth 1 Black Canary.
Yeah.
Right, obviously, there's only one now. As we learned.
Yep.
And then notices that the people of Earth S running toward the antimatter curtain, as they did their counterparts on Earths X and 4, have been stopped by a crystal barrier erected by Cole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure who that character is.
She was a Titan.
Okay. Is it Cole? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So she has crystalline powers, almost like well, not really like Emma Frost, but kind of. Here, too, Harbinger's image can be seen within the antimatter wave. So this is something we should pay attention to. Wonder Woman of Earth 1 is almost overwhelmed by Captain Marvel Jr. and Mary Marvel before Black Canary's sonic blast incapacitates the Earth S heroes. That's interesting that works. Changeling, Beast Boy, as a boa constrictor, has managed to tie up Uncle Marvel. Good one. There you go. He's a threat. On Earth
He
X,
actually makes a crack about him, too.
Does he really? What does he say?
I can't believe this old coot is one of them.
Yeah, well, I love his little coif of hair on the top of his head.
Yeah.
That's always my favorite part about him. Yeah, good times. On Earth X, Steel is preventing people from destroying themselves in the antimatter. On Earth 4, Katana, Block, and John Jones have stalemated the Blue Beetle, Judo Master, and the Question. Harbinger, existing simultaneously now in Earths S, X, and 4, suddenly draws their universes away from the antimatter and pulls them through her focused image. Oh, so that's why she's there. She's trying to sort of bring them in. Now, in the lair of the anti-monitor, the psychopirate suffers the feedback from losing control over the populaces of the three Earths. In the Netherverse, created from the being of the deceased monitor, Harbinger now accomplishes the incredible task of linking Earths S, X, and 4 with the merging Earths 1 and 2. So it's all coming together. In doing so, Harbinger ceases to exist. She reverts to the identity of Lila, dazed and confused, standing on an asteroid beside Alexander Luthor Jr. He marvels that she had sacrificed so much to save three universes. She replies that she hadn't sacrificed everything the Monitor did, while she is still alive. but their job is still not finished. The 5 worlds, all separated by different vibratory rates, are slowly synchronizing. And at that point, they will destroy each other. The immediate problem, however, Alex notes, is getting off this asteroid. How do we do that?
That's a pretty good question.
That is. So that's why she knocked out Alex, was that if he had done that, he probably would have died.
Yeah.
Right? And he's really the important one. He's going to save everybody in the end, right? Or they're
so
hoping.
she could sacrifice the harbinger part of her, but not her life.
That's
where he would sacrifice himself.
Yeah, that would be it. So the last section here, we're on Earth 2. Power Girl, Green Lantern, and Johnny Quick in pursuit of Star Sapphire, Deathbolt, and Perdegaton. See their Corey disappear without a trace. In the apartment where he was taken to, Ted Grant sleeps. A figure stands over him for a moment, proclaiming that the world still needs a wildcat, and will have one. In space, now we have, what's her name again? Yolanda Montez is now Wildcat.
Yep.
So now in space, Lila reassures Alex that the Monitor has seen a special destiny in the crisis for him. Right. So she's saying, "You're my density." Okay. And right, this is now where we see back on Earth 2. Yolanda takes to the rooftops. Lightning strikes. I am the new Wildcat.
That's right.
And my friend, that is the end of issue number 6 and part 2 of our crisis.
Cool. And so the next part is the first big blockbuster reveals. The cover of issue 7
it's horrible.
Is Superman holding the dead Supergirl.
Yeah.
And pulling a pariah and crying like crazy.
Oh, he's a total pariah right there.
So
without the guy liner.
Yeah, so this is like the first. They wanted to make sure that Crisis meant something by having real consequences, and this was one of the first one of them. That something horrible is going to happen, and they showed it at the end of
the previous issue.
The previous issue, they said next month the story behind this cover, and then they show Superman holding her lifeless body. So they let people know, okay, they let people know from the beginning, this is going to make some real changes. This is going to be some hard stuff. And then, we're getting ready to get the first one of those. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because only bad guys have died so far, really. And I guess the Monitor.
Yeah. And stuff you didn't care about. I mean, Monitor was just introduced a couple issues ago. So we weren't invested. This is a character that a lot of people are fan of. A lot of people are invested in. So this is going to be a big deal.
And when did the movie come out? Supergirl. 80 what?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I wonder, because you can't kill a character just before she comes out in the movie.
Yeah. Let's see here. It came out 84.
Ooh.
So it was before this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was in the movies and then she died. So there we have an investment in a major character. But that's Kara Zor-El, right?
Yes.
That's not Linda Lee.
No, that's Kara.
Okay, because this Supergirl is Linda Lee, isn't it? The one with the headband?
She poses as Clark Kent's in the movie. She poses as Clark Kent's cousin, Linda Lee.
Oh, is that her alternate? Is that her secret identity?
In the movie, yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Because they all call her Kara in the story.
Yeah.
So coming up next week, we got issues 7, 8, and 9 right, for part 3. And then what's our next showcase, Timmy?
The next showcase, I believe, it will be the Magic Year. 1986, which is where Crisis ends, was what's usually referred to as the Magic Year, because so many different things happened. You had Crisis ending. You had Dark Knight Returns. You had Daredevil Rebirth. You had the Watchmen. You had all these different things happening in Batman Year 1. All that happening in 1 year. So it's referred to as the Magic Year.
That's
so
awesome.
I think that one it's what we're going to do next. We had looked at that and because that kind of still goes in with our Crisis theme. of that being the year, one of the events of that magic year, we can take that and go with that and talk about some of the things that happened that year and just wrap your head around all that stuff happening in 1 year. It's crazy to think about. All the landmark events that happened in the comics industry that changed the comic industry all happened in 1 year.
So this is what I guess we talk about going from the Bronze to the Modern Age.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, that was always something that that I was confused about, is like when specifically it was supposed to be the switch over from Silver Age to what they've now calling Bronze Age, and I read that
in Green Arrow.
Yeah, the Green Arrow 76 is accepted as the changeover because it was a more realistic take on comics. They really kicked that off with Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams really kicked that off with their run on Green Lantern.
Nice.
And so that is kind of the accepted, just like the appearance of the Silver Age Flash, Barry Allen, was the accepted beginning of the Silver Age. That is now the accepted beginning of the Bronze Age.
Nice.
So
well, we found it out different, right? We found it, there were Silver Age characters introduced before that.
Yeah, but
not properly.
Yeah, but what is considered the beginning of the Silver Age of comics was Showcase number 4, I think it was, first appearance of Barry Allen.
Cool.
So that's what, because that was the first superhero that had been introduced in a long time.
15 years or something? Yeah, maybe.
So that's what kicked off the Silver Age. So yeah, we'll take it next year. We'll take a look at. I found the list now. The Magic Year, 1986. Watchmen, Mouse, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, Crisis, Miracle Man, Batman Year One, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, The Man of Steel, Elektra Assassin, Daredevil Born Again, and Legends. All happened in 1986.
Wow. Yeah, DC Legends, right?
Holy crap!
Huge series.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. That's a load of stuff to happen in 1 year. And like I said, stuff that changed comics.
Yeah.
So, so we'll take a look at that next week in our showcase segment. And then we'll have 7, 8, 9. Is that what we?
Yep, we're 7, 8, 9 coming up next for Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Cool. And all right, before we get out of here, we're going to take our look at our picks for this week. What you got in your picks this week?
Okay, my picks. I got a little bit of a stack here. Okay, so my first pick, I think, was something that you had mentioned that I just grabbed me from the shelf. Sandman Overture. I saw it at Heroes.
Beautiful, man.
And I said, "Who's J.H. Williams III?" And everybody in the store looked at me like I had just said Large Marge sent me. Okay. And no, but instead of going her ghost, they went, "He's amazing." And just looking through the art, I was just blown away. And yeah, I'm in the middle of. I put it on hold once I started reading Crisis stuff. All the Sandman again. So I think I'm going to get back into that and get going with that. And then I think the other real big pick, just to keep things simple, because I got my normal stuff that I'm reading. This is actually not a comic book, but a book. This is Star Wars Aftermath by Chuck Wendig,
This is the book that bridges. We've been talking about the comics that bridge between Return of the Jedi and New Force Awakens.
Right.
This is the book that bridges.
Absolutely.
So,
and it's branded just like a Shattered Empire Journey to Star Wars: The Force Awakens. And a really exciting event is going to be November 19th.
Yes, November 19th. Chuck Wendig is actually a Queen's University of Charlotte graduate, in 1998. So he will be on campus doing a Q&A for students, and then a larger presentation later in that evening as a reading.
Yep. Open to the public.
Open to the public, yes. That'll be November 19th. We're trying to get the word out as much as possible because it's a pretty big deal. This debuted number 4 on the New York Times bestseller list.
And I got it in the mail yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to read it beforehand because I love Shattered Empire. Mm-hmm. And I got home late last night, and before I went to sleep with my phone, I was just I was hooked.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. It starts off with Wedge Antilles, and he's sort of on a scouting mission, covert, and then the Empire, or the Outer Rim band of the Empire finds him, and he's got to sort of lie his way out of stuff. But
I love Wedge.
They're gonna do a good job.
Oh yeah, cool.
So I'm reading a ton of other stuff, but I think these are the two that I would recommend.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Cool.
What you got?
The Black Hood, where I talk about that constantly, but the Black Hood, the Howard Chaykin issue number 6 was phenomenal. So if you go out and pick that up, you'll enjoy the read. It's a fun little twist.
Sweet.
Also, I got my comic bento box in the mail yesterday.
Your mail order comic service.
My mail order comic service. Yeah, exactly. And they had Dynamite Entertainment Green Hornet Volume 1.
Oh, cool.
That'll be interesting,
is that
too.
The classic? Or is this a
This is new. It's written by Mark Waid.
Oh.
Yeah, so there you go. I'm sold right there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and another one, I'm interested. I need to read this, but Dark Horse Comics, Orchid, Volume 1, is written by Tom Morello.
From Rage Against the Machine?
From Rage Against the Machine. So I was
That's
like,
awesome.
Hey, cool. Again, I'm hooked. At the very least, I want to read it to see how he does. I know
That's
he's
awesome.
a huge comics fan.
I thought he had like a political science degree and like was all.
No, he's a huge comics fan, and I've known that, but I didn't realize he was a writer. So I'm interested to read it and see how good it is.
Sweet, that's a great pick.
Yeah, so that's definitely what I'm looking at this week, and I'm still borderline on Comic Bento whether I'm going to continue it, because like this month I got Green Hornet, I got the Captain Marvel trade paperback, I got the Orchid, the Tom Morello thing, and then something from Valiant called Harbinger Omega Rising.
Harbinger series, yeah.
Yeah.
The team.
So the team, not Crisis on Infinite Earth. Yeah. So I got mostly good ones out of that one, but there's times it's like it gets here and there's only one out of the 4 or 5 that come that I give a crap about. And it's like,
so it's a monthly thing?
It's a monthly thing, yeah.
Okay, so you'll get one more before the end of the year.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this for the sake of the show.
Yeah.
I want you to not open it and bring it in. Let's do an unboxing on the air.
Oh, okay.
And if it's lame, we'll go. Wah,
yeah, wah wah. Yeah.
And we'll see if it's great, and let's put it to the test.
Okay.
Maybe.
Let's do that.
Maybe we should just independently buy all of these services and see which is the best.
Yeah.
It'll cost us $8,000, so we won't be able to
Exactly,
get the Batmobile.
The Kickstarters, another Kickstarter. We've come up with like 4 different Kickstarters today. So,
well, I know what you're doing this afternoon.
Yeah.
Filling out all that paperwork.
That's right. But that is our picks for the week, and that's going to wrap up this week's edition of the Ninja Troll Digicast. Remember, for all the latest news from all around geek culture, make sure you follow us on social media, Facebook.com/Ninja Troll Digicast.
On Twitter at Ninja Troll Show.
And Instagram at Ninja Troll Digicast.
We're on YouTube at ninjatroll.com/C/Ninja Troll Digicast.
And you can always visit us at ninjatrolldigicast.com. And while you're there, click on the subscribe to iTunes button to get the Ninja Troll on iTunes. And make sure you join us next week. Same Ninja time, same Ninja channel.
You've been listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Tune in next time when you'll hear Tim say,
"Hold on to your butts."
This is the Ninja Troll Digicast, the defenders of all things geek culture.
Don't go ninja, nobody don't need ninja.